There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are late and Ron isn't here, but we are still blaming Ron for our lateness.
100%.
100%. It's absolutely Ron's fault. It's absolutely Ron's
his fault.
He's not sending out the right links for people to be here on time. He's trying to sabotage the show. It is what it is. Ron just host whether he's here or not. But welcome to the show, everyone. Chill, Swiper. Good to see you guys. Ox, John D, welcome.
How y'all doing?
How everyone doing? How everyone been since I last seen you guys?
Running good. Y'all running good. Yeah, had a pretty good fight on my hands last night, and I did not listen to Mars. See, what we do, Ox, is we have a tendency to listen to people who don't really know what they talk about a lot of times. Ox, you know that dude that come to the gym with the funky shorts and the funky shirt, and he look like he's a goofy. But when we start playing, you're like, oh shit, this dude can rock. Yeah. And you didn't know that he could play because you was listening to somebody else on the side, like, yo, this dude suck. Only to find out that this dude can play. Because he looked a little bit goofy. That's how Mars can trick you into thinking that one, the bracket that I'm in is a weak bracket, because it's not. No, it is not. I have my hands full with them now, with the exception of the Boston Celtic fanatic. Okay, with the exception of the Boston Celtic fanatic, I have my hands full with them dudes. So under no circumstances was it weak. No, not at all.
You think you won? You think you won yesterday?
Yes, I do think I won. I don't think I mopped him, but I think I handled him. Yes, I do.
How about you, Ox? Because you went against Elder last night. How do you think you did?
I 100% won, undoubtedly.
Is that the most confident you've been after a battle that you won? Was that the easiest?
I feel like I beat OG. I feel like I beat OG the Beast too.
So you think you 2-1?
100%.
Okay, well we're gonna see how the voting goes. Swiper, do you have a battle on Sunday? Do you have a battle on Sunday?
Yes, and it is against.
Is it against the man right here? Is it against this man?
Is that it? That's it. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will be in Denver. So you will be seeing me with a nice outdoor hike tan. So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, facts.
Denver's actually nice this time of year.
Denver's great this time of year, bro. I'm taking, we're gonna have a nice little thing. I got the whole thing planned out, chill. Gonna be, a little dinner tomorrow, a little going out, you know what I mean? And then we got actually I'm not gonna reveal it. She ain't listening to this, don't matter. Got a massage plan. She really don't listen to this. So it really don't matter. Massage planned out.
You can tell us. It's cool. You can tell us.
Massage planned out, brunch planned out, got some shopping stuff planned out, got another birthday dinner that night, salsa bachata event that night. You already know, you know what I mean?
So you've got an eventful time ahead of you, is what I'm hearing.
Man, look, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. Have you been so in the States, Mars? Where have you actually been in the States?
Seattle.
It's not a trick question, Mars.
Just Seattle. Just Seattle. Just Seattle. I didn't know how specific you wanted me to get, but I didn't know where I was in Seattle. So
right. Well, no, I'm saying there's a lot. There's a. I mean, when there's some cities to tap out for real. I'm really trying to get to London. Real spit. Hopefully that happens pretty soon. But I was hearing yesterday it's kind of small though. From one of my homeboys, High Life. Shout out High Life. He just said there's not like there's stuff to do. I would ask him about pubs. Like, does he go to pubs? He said he's not really a pub culture type dude. Like, do you do anything like that at all?
Me? No. But like, I mean, London. I mean, comparatively to the US and States, and London is tiny. Yes, there's not much to do in my opinion. But for a tourist, it's probably more fun because you actually want to like get out and see the sights and do these touristy things. But when you just reside here, allegedly, it's not that special in my opinion. But I can understand the tourists wanting to be here, but I think there's many better places to go. But if it's on the bucket list, then I'm not going to try and ruin it for you. But
you don't go to matches at all, like Arsenal, United, and all that stuff. Like,
I mean, I've been to games before. I'm just.
When's the most recent, Mark? When's the most recent match you've been to? Today it's August of 24. When's the last time you've been to a match?
2022.
Who did you go see? Who was in town?
I went to go. It was the year that Cristiano Ronaldo went back to Manchester United. So either 21 or 22, I can't remember.
Nice.
I went to go watch one of his first games. He played against West Ham. Man United won 2-1. Ronaldo scored. There was a late penalty missed. That's what I seen. That's the last game I went to see. But for me, it's just like there's too many people. Like trying to get out when there's 70,000 people. Yeah. Like that's what's annoying. So that's why
I don't understand. Swiper, you Swiper, you being in Atlanta and you being in Denver. I am a mass transit merchant. I'm not driving if I don't have to drive. I am not driving anywhere. There's a mass transit system down here. It's called the Bright Line, and there's another one called the Tri-Rail. The Bright Line, you're literally a half a mile from it's called the Kaseya Center now, but American Airlines Arena where the Miami Heat play. I will jump on a train in a minute before I drive in that traffic and pay $25, $30. I will jump on a train in a minute. And
but you know, the only problem, because you've been in Atlanta, the only problem is if you do take the MARTA will take you to a spot. But so you have to drive to the spot, and then, but it's not. So if I go to a concert, you know, when I went to see Kendrick and them, if I'm going to like a game or something like that, that's cool. And I'll say the biggest upside that the media have is that when you're a media member, you get assigned parking. That's like the best part about it. It's like you get there, you don't have to worry about that, and like so you can just go to a section, take care of it, and then you can kind of like flow, and you're going to be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours after the game anyway. So you get there 2 hours before and you leave 2 hours with everybody else. So you kind of like miss everything. I can do that. But to your point, I don't like being in lines. I hate being in lines, and I don't like dealing with traffic.
Swipe, assigned parking cannot be the best part of being the media member.
If you don't like lines,
that's convenience. That's
a pretty big deal.
That's convenience. I'm telling you, anything that can make your life more convenient
that's a pretty big deal,
that's
brother.
Top tier.
No, I don't like lines. My whole life, I've never liked lines. Never.
That's why I hate airports. I hate
you being in Sacramento, and especially in downtown, or being in Portland. You know how difficult traffic can be. If there's a designated spot where you can go and you ain't got to worry about driving around for 20 minutes to find parking and then have to pay somebody $30-$35 to park, that makes your trip way better than what it would be where, all right, I got to leave 2 hours before and I got to go find parking. And
I hate traffic. Yeah, I hate traffic. That's one thing I do. I hate traffic. But as far as like parking and all that, like I live by like you get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? So like,
nah, for real.
You know, I'll go jump in the whatever the parking garage, pay the fee, whatever, and just go inside.
No, but but Ox flights, me? Oh, I'm not. I'm paying for everything in my flight. I'm paying for my seat, where my seat is, window or aisle. I don't play around about none of that. I'll pay extra. I'll pay extra for the front or for extra row. 1,000.
You can't be in the air uncomfortable, bro.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
Facts. Especially on a 10-hour flight.
Right.
But you're a midget though, Mars, so ain't no big deal you sitting in the middle.
Okay. First of all,
let's chill out on that.
First of all, I am above average height for a female. Thank you. So let's not accuse me of things that I am not. Thank you
on top of that, Mars, I don't think you're old enough to sit in the exit row. So.
You're not, yo. No.
We gotta be 25, right?
15.
Or 21.
You gotta be 15 to sit in the exit row.
Yes,
I'm nearly there. So, but all this talk about convenience. Let's talk about these convenient meals we can be getting.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great-tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code PlayersChoice50 at factormeals.com/PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
W host. But now the formal introductions are out of the way. We spoke a little bit about everything, really. Shout out to Keith London for becoming a member. And then Alan R with the super chat saying, shout out to Ox for winning that Dirk debate. W Contrarian, L Ox. Yeah, Ox going with Dirk was definitely a surprise. But I think he won that topic. So
what was the topic, Big Ox? I'm sorry, I missed that one.
It was who had the best season in the 2010s.
Between
I went
he had free choice of anybody.
Yeah. I chose Dirk. I chose Dirk 11
over who?
2011
over everybody. I chose Dirk over. I chose the Dirk.
Oh, so you just pick anyone?
He could choose anyone. He went with Dirk. Elder went with 2016 Curry. So no.
Why would he go 2016 Curry when you didn't finish the job? That was a
lot of Ox's argument about finishing the job. So I think Ox won that one. Yeah. But the PCL was very eventful last night. So if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. Your votes still count in the comments after the fact. And we do have the PCL on Sunday where you will see Swiper against John D. So maybe today's a preview of that. I don't know. But let's get into the topic at hand today, which is about the Los Angeles Lakers being a dysfunctional franchise. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard what's been said about the Los Angeles Lakers in recent days. But I want to ask you guys how you feel about it, because we have a certain somebody who we know, a certain Brian Windhorst, who spoke about the Los Angeles Lakers and how they are treating LeBron and Anthony Davis. I want to ask if you guys have heard this, and then for your thoughts on it. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Let's say we're Lakers.
Well, I don't know if I'd quite go that far with AD because he was up and down.
I can't hear it. I'm sorry.
I can hear it.
Over. Well, yes, okay. That's a different topic.
I'll summarize it for you, Trey.
Yes.
Maybe the single biggest takeaway for me from this whole tournament is that it showed to me how terribly the Lakers have been run for most of the past several years. And the fact that the team has been built so poorly around him and Anthony Davis that they have been an afterthought the vast majority of the run. There's 100 things you could point to. The overall point, though, is that LeBron still has the ability to be a difference-making player at the highest level. And with him and AD, it remains unfathomable that this team is irrelevant. And that's what they are, is irrelevant.
Two of the best four players for Team USA were Lakers.
Well, I don't know if I'd quite go that far with AD because he was up and down.
All three of the best were 36 or over.
Well, yes, okay. That's a different topic. But the big one, maybe the single biggest takeaway from.
So with all that being said, Swiper, you seem to have a complaint or a comment. Go ahead.
We can all agree that they shouldn't have blown the team up with the Russell Westbrook trade. But Mars, if I remember correctly, everyone was in support of that move when it happened at the time. I just want to be clear. Most everyone was in support of that move when it happened. I was not. But I guess I'm trying to understand. The Lakers are irrelevant. They've only lost to one team the last 2 years. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, they beat Golden State. They beat Memphis. If they don't play Denver, everybody in Mars, we had this conversation leading into the playoffs. Chill, Ox, did we not? Yes, I imagine you did as well. We had this conversation. If they play the Thunder, could they beat the Thunder?
I think they would have beat them.
A lot of people were mindset they would have beat them.
I think they would have beat them.
So how different now is it if it's AD versus Chet or AD versus the Lakers versus Minnesota?
I think the problem was the Lakers sat on their hands all offseason while majority of the Western Conference teams were getting better. Like the Lakers they're expecting to run it back this season, and the Thunder got better. The Mavs got better. The Nuggets got a little bit worse, but you still have a matchup problem against the Nuggets. But last year, going into the playoffs, Denver was the only team that was definitively beating the Lakers in a lot of people's opinion. I think I would have gave the Lakers a fighting chance against anyone. But now a lot of the Western Conference teams are getting better. Sacramento got better. New Orleans got better. It's just the Lakers sat on their hands.
So rewind. So rewind. New Orleans did not get better because they lost their 5 man. So I think they got worse. And we've seen the Lakers flip their roster over the years. How's that worked for them? It hasn't. In fact, it's gone bad. The fact that, you know, Swiper just brought up the Russell Westbrook trade. I wasn't completely in with it, but I'm thinking it's James, so he can work it out.
Exactly.
I think that he can. I think that he can figure Russell Westbrook out, which he wasn't able to. This was a disaster, a complete disaster, and it was a disaster right from the beginning. With that being said, the better teams that we've seen in the league, they've built their teams through the draft and made small changes. Nothing that was, with the exception of what Boston did. Boston, all they did was they didn't completely flip the roster. They took Drew Holiday and they exchanged Marcus Smart for Drew Holiday. Basically, I'm a better version of what we already have. KP, I'm losing some defense with Robert Williams, but I'm gaining more offense. That's not completely flipping the roster, but they kept most of the guys that they had, right? So with the Lakers, what they're doing is they're flipping the roster year to year, and that's largely due to James being there and the timeline with him. Because when you're older, okay, we don't have a lot of time. We have to consistently stay competitive. But you have yourself and you have Anthony Davis. You two guys are enough to stay competitive. I don't think that you have to consistently have a complete overhaul of the roster. I don't think that that's necessary. What they did in 21 with losing Dwight Howard, with losing Malik Monk, with losing Alex Caruso, with losing Kuzma, that wasn't necessary to do that. It wasn't necessary to completely flip the roster, but instead you do that. And now we're in a position where now we got to keep doing it, as opposed to getting some continuity, getting a group of guys and keeping them together. That way we can compete. And Swiper, please, let's not act like teams don't duck smoke. I'm 100% confident that the Dallas Mavericks, when they saw Minnesota drop you guys, they was like, whew, we ain't got to deal with them dudes. We got nothing to do with them. So teams duck smoke all the time. It's about getting lucky too. It's not just about being good. It's 100% about getting lucky.
I don't know, but I mean, the Mavericks, I wouldn't consider the Mavericks that duck and smoke as much as just the Nuggets dropping the ball. But that whole take, what we just heard from Windhorst and whoever those other two guys were, it might not, I'm not going to say it was a bad take, but it was just a bad basis to the take. Like where the take came from was just bad. Like, we're, you know, I won't argue that maybe the Lakers have been mismanaged. I won't argue that, but we're not going to act like they're mismanaged because we saw Anthony Davis and LeBron James play good with a bunch of superstars. You know what I mean? Like we can't judge a 5-6 game samples of the Olympics with Anthony Davis and LeBron James playing with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, and these guys, and be like, well, if they can play like that with them, then they should be like, that's just dumb.
So do you think the Lakers, this is to Ox and I'm gonna ask everyone else, do you think the Lakers as presently constructed are contenders, or do you think they need to add more to the roster?
No, I don't think they're contenders.
I do.
They could probably do something else. They could probably do something else. Just know what you can't. Bron. This is it's an 82 game season. What we saw from Bron right there in 6 games in the Olympics is we're not going to see that exact Bron for 82 games. He can do that. He can do that for for a good amount of games for sure. So but I don't think Bron has the ability to carry anymore.
Now let me ask you this, Ox. Okay, is this team, to your point of the 82 game season, is this team built more for the playoffs or are they built more for the regular season? Because I feel like this team is built more for the playoffs. So the idea of them getting to the playoffs, how they get to the playoffs doesn't really matter. It's more getting to the playoffs and matchups, like avoiding the Denver Nuggets. Because I'm watching Oklahoma City play New Orleans in that first game, and I'm watching how New Orleans handled them. And I'm thinking to myself, if the Lakers saw them in round 1, they could beat them. I'm not looking at Dallas as a real viable threat, because I felt like they could have beat them too. But James, at this point in his career, I mean, we could have probably had this conversation maybe 2 years ago, but James at this point in his career, no, I don't think so.
So I'm not sure if they beat OKC. I'm not as sold on that as all.
This version,
Are we talking this year, Ox, or the 24?
I'm talking about what we just watched, what we just saw in the playoffs. I'm not on the same page as y'all with that. So that's another reason. Right. I don't think they, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lakers are. But the reason I think the Lakers are built for the playoffs as opposed to the regular season is because that's a smaller game sample. That's a chance for LeBron to be able to carry. Sure. I just don't think he can do it anymore.
Now let me ask you this, Ox. When you look at that Oklahoma City team going last season in the playoffs, because I'm thinking about my two best players against your two best players, because that's essentially what this is. Because we saw these guys who weren't really that experienced in the playoffs, and I do trust James and Anthony Davis a little more than I trust Shea and J-Dub and Chet in the playoffs as of right now, as of 24. Now going forward, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm asking you is, when you watch those two teams in the playoffs last year, what is it that is pushing you away from saying the Lakers couldn't beat them?
They just OKC just got a better team all around. Like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like they're younger. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I look at the Lakers as, like I said, I'm concerned with Bron's ability to carry at this point in his career.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. The supporting cast, I just don't like them. Like y'all know how I feel about D'Lo. I think D'Lo is a bum. You know what I'm saying? I do not like D'Angelo Russell at all. Austin Reeves is a little inconsistent for what I think they need. Rui Hachimura, I think he can play really good in spurts. You know what I'm saying? I think he can give you a couple games every series, but they just need more. They need more. Bron, like, once again, I know I sound like a broken record, but with this roster, Bron has to carry. And I don't know if he can. I don't know if his tank is big enough like it used to be.
I think some of this is, everybody knows I'm not a Lakers fan. I mean, that's clear. So coming from me, this should be more, hopefully, some importance, some gravitas. Because everybody knows I don't like the Lakers. But I think to defend the Lakers in this sense, I don't think D'Lo's a bum, personally. And I don't think the NBA thinks he's a bum either. I mean, he's a 17 points per game scorer, 6 assist game. He's a great shooter. He's a good playmaker, like really good screen and roll navigator. He just doesn't play elite defense. But look at his body. That's just not what he is.
You can't base that on him averaging 17 points a game if you're a starting point guard in the NBA.
No, but I'm thinking he's also an efficient player as well. Like there are things about D'Lo that are actually above average. The problem is he plays with the Lakers, and the Lakers are asking him to
What does he do that's above average, Swiper?
He's a much above average shooter. He's an above average shooter.
100%.
He's an above average dribbler. He's an above average passer. All three of those things.
100%.
That makes you a positive player.
I think he's a great pick and roll creator.
Yeah, he's an above average passer.
In a pick and roll, I think he's really good.
I think even just like it's just a turnover ratio. Like he's pretty good. Like he's
just off the. Keep going, Swipe. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So I think with that, D'Lo is also a role player, Ox. So that's the other side of that, right? Like he's a role player. I think Austin Reeves is a role player, but Austin Reeves is a really good shot maker. And down the stretch of that game in the playoff, Austin Reeves was the one making the shots. He's really good stop and go. Another great screen navigator. I think that LeBron and I said this going into the into the Olympics. I think LeBron James in a 12-game, 16-game sample size can be the best player on the court. Because it's minimal. Now at this point, like I can give everything I got to give. If the Lakers had, I would say if the Lakers had, even if they had Gary Harris, a player like that going into the playoffs, I think they would be better situated. Because if they had Reeves, somebody like Harris, or someone like a two-way player at that guard spot, doesn't even have to be crazy good, but $9 million, $11 million a year, Ayo Dosunmu. If they had one of those players, I think they would be better situated. The problem is they're trying to run out Austin Reeves as the primary POA player, and Gabe Vincent's the backup. So their options are Cam Reddish, which was a terrible move. I didn't believe in it then. It was Lonnie Walker 2 years ago, also not a good, viable closing piece. And then they had Max Christie. I also think Max Christie.
Rewind, Swiper. The Lonnie Walker move. Was it a bad move because he couldn't play, or because they didn't use him?
No, he's just not good enough to close games with in the playoffs.
Now closing games, I think that's something different. But as a viable rotation guard, I don't think they used him as much as they could have. I think that he could have given them a lot. I think he could have given them a lot better minutes in different situations. He shouldn't be closing games. I think we got. And I'd like to think that the masses, they got tricked when they saw him get busy in that game at the end of the game where I think he came off the bench and scored 16 in the fourth, something like that. This is something that you can expect from him regularly. No, it's not. That's not who he is. He's absolutely more of a rotation guard who can come off the bench and give you some solid minutes.
Chill. Now, how many centers, just to ask, how many centers had a better playoff series than Anthony Davis did this last year?
How many 5-man?
In the NBA playoff last year, how many centers had a better series than AD? Through the playoffs.
Throughout the entire playoffs. So Joel Embiid was.
He averaged what, bars? 26, 16? Was it 16? 26, 15 or something like that, and 3. And then also, like, he was a really good defender.
Joel Embiid got busy against the Knicks.
Anthony Davis in the playoffs this year averaged 28, 16, 4 assists, 2 blocks a game, shooting 63% from the field.
He got busy.
And 81% from the line.
Yeah, he got busy.
That's the best series he's ever played in his life.
No,
like including there's
no way,
but including the playoff,
like that,
including the
the play. He was
I'm saying, but including the 2020 run, I think AD
I ain't even talking about the 2020. I think in 2018 he was I think that was the best.
I think he had 65. Maybe I'm tripping, but you can look it up, Mark. I want to say he had like 65% of his mid-range shots in that series. It was something.
And what did D'Lo do?
And
Mark, he wasn't terrible. He had a 21-point game in there.
He was inconsistent, but I want to actually, like, alluding to D'Lo and how Ox feels about him. I want to ask how you guys feel about how D'Lo feels about himself.
Oh yeah,
because D'Lo said this. He said, "Great conversation, if you ask me. Who's effective from off the dribble and catch and shoot? Chef, meaning Steph Curry. Myself."
Stop right there, Mars. Don't even read no more. When he said Chef, then he said myself. What are we doing? Okay, relax, bro. Okay,
so you don't think D'Lo is right to view himself in that category?
See, this is what we're doing. This is the logic that we have that throws me off, where guys aren't self-awareness. Ox is very much a conscious dude. Self-awareness is very important in society, and it's very important at your job. You need to know exactly who you are. So for D'Angelo Russell, who I think is a fine player, I mean, he outside of Denver, I mean, he got busy in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he did. He got busy in the playoffs outside of Denver. I think Denver is his kryptonite. However, let's not act like you are.
Sure, they played one series. Didn't they lose in the first round?
I'm not talking about
last year.
I even remember the Memphis series he closed out.
And I'm not even
you talking about the year before that.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about then. He actually got, when he played with the Nets when they went to the playoffs, he wasn't bad. He was actually good in the playoffs. So what I'm saying is you have to
be fair, Chill. D'Lo was 40 on the regular season. He was 43% from catch and shoot threes.
Right.
On in the regular season. And then
Curry though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's Curry, but you know,
just because you put on a nice dress and put on some makeup, that doesn't mean that you find is this chick. No,
hold on, Chill. Let me back him up a little bit, all right? Because he had that, and then he from 3-point, and then as a pull-up shooter, 39% from 3. That's pretty good. That's not bad.
And he had a
great
stats
slapper. You watched him play basketball.
and he had a great season. 100%. I think he broke the record for the Lakers this year in long ball.
I think this was his most efficient
but no,
season.
He's not even top 5. So I mean, but again, Steph, Dame, CJ, Jamal, obviously, who in the Western Conference, even Luka, SGA's a better pull-up shooter, not a good catch and shoot. Jason Tatum,
Kyrie
Irving.
Is he a better pull-up shooter than De'Aaron Fox?
Yes. De'Aaron Fox is a brick.
Are we just talking the West right now?
Post that little start he had, he was a brick.
So D'Lo, so long story short, you guys are saying D'Lo is wrong for viewing himself in that regard. Hello.
No, he's good at it. He's just not Steph level.
Right.
Well, I don't think I don't want to. Once again, I don't want to cape for D'Lo, but I don't think he's saying he's.
I agree. He didn't say he was Steph.
I think he's just listing a bunch of names. I think he's acknowledging Steph is above the rest. But
he did say CJ McCollum. Now, I mean, how much?
Honestly, CJ an elite shooter.
I agree, but how much worse is he than CJ McCollum as a player?
As a player or just a shooter?
As a player.
He might be bad at CJ.
I don't think they're that far.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Even today, I don't think he's that far off from him. But I think what's throwing me off is when you say the first name that you say, Chef, myself, like whoa. that's where I'm getting that's where it gets tricky with me. And you know, to Ox's point, I want to get back on D'Angelo Russell, because Ox, how many bums are starting in the playoffs in your estimation? How many bums are starting?
D'Lo is.
And I want to have a real basketball conversation with you.
All in D'Lo.
We're talking about a bum on a starting.
Tobias Harris.
I think Josh Giddey. If you calling D'Lo and Tobias, I think Josh Giddey could be in that conversation.
And on top of that, like CJ McCollum's better than D'Lo too. I don't understand how y'all going like
substantially. Like it's not even a conversation for you.
I mean, well, you know me, Mars. I'm willing to talk about anything. But
okay, I get you.
I'm confident that CJ is better than D'Lo. Yeah,
Ox, you the same one that told me that you think that Tobias Harris has third-team All-NBA. He's a third-team All-NBA level player. He just doesn't show it.
I think from what I've seen from him.
Yes, he just doesn't show it consistently enough for you. He just now that doesn't constitute as a bum to me.
Well, sure, that's what I'm saying. Y'all know, like when I say that somebody's a bum, I'm more so saying like you know, it's because
you
you're
suck.
Just disappointing. No, like there's people obviously like. I mean, I just mean like you're just disappointing. Like you've shown that you can play ball. So why are you garbage? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't mean bum the same way everybody else says bum.
Oh,
like, that's what I mean. I've called Joel Embiid a bum. Like I know
Luka bum.
Not,
yes, you have.
You know what I'm saying? I know he's not garbage.
You mean from like a consistency standpoint?
Yeah, I just mean like you're just not playing up to your ability. And
right.
But I don't even know with D'Lo no more. I'm not even sure if it's. I don't know what it is. I just don't like D'Lo's game. It's simple. I just do not like.
No, that's fair. He's at this season that just passed. He was a really good catch and shoot guy. And if I'm being honest, that Laker team, which is built for the playoffs, if they avoid Denver, I like their chances in the Western Conference. With that being said, to Ox's point, and I have to agree with him, I've said this over the years. I think that LeBron James is done winning NBA championships as the man. I don't think he can do it. I don't. Now, can they win the NBA championship with somebody else doing it with him on the crew? Yes. But I don't think he knows how to play like that.
Hold on, chill. Wait a minute. Could even LeBron was fine in the Nuggets series. Both of them.
Okay.
AD, respectively, was fine in the Nuggets series.
Okay.
They just don't have Austin Reeves is good offensively. He just can't guard. Like, I guess, like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like in the West, the difference between you getting out in the first round and winning and going into the finals is just matchups. Could I guarantee you, Chill, if they would have played Dallas, I'm taking the Lakers more than likely.
Swiper, he wasn't fine. Swiper,
who?
Like, bro, like because you just said Austin Reeves can't guard. Did y'all not see LeBron James lost on defense trying to guard Aaron Gordon? Like he was out there lost. Aaron Gordon getting dumped down easy passes. Bron just standing there not even knowing what's going on.
Rebounding on the glass.
He wasn't.
He's been doing that since he was 23.
Okay, well, and that's not fine.
Just because he's been doing it for long, it doesn't mean it's not.
I get it, but in that series, in the
I don't want to hear these stats you about to tell me, Swiper. I don't want to hear it. I'm talking about what we
for the audience. I'm saying it for the audience. This is live audience. 27.8 points a game, 8.8 assists, 6.8 rebounds, 74% from the line. He's ox from the free throw line. That's not good. 63% from two, and then he shot 38.5% from three. That's a really good player.
Right. So that goes to my point. Like I said, I don't think that they were wrong with their take. I think they just need more, their role players need to step up. They need to build around those guys better. I just don't think it's because of what we saw in the playoff. I mean, in the Olympics. I'm fine with the take. So I agree with it. Because how can Anthony Davis average 28, 16 in 3 or 4 and Bron have the stats you just mentioned and they lose in 5? That's a problem.
And they were up for majority of the entire series. So it's like,
they don't count.
You gotta close those out.
Yeah. And then AD, he wasn't getting as much touches in the fourth quarter as well. And it's like, I think that's something.
Why would you give AD the ball in the fourth quarter? Now see that. Now we're getting back into reality because I'm trying to defend that team a little bit from Brian.
No, wait a minute, Swiper. Why would you not give him the ball?
Why would I give him the finisher the ball?
Because you said he was shooting 65% from mid range.
I know, but why? I'm saying, but typically in that situation, you're going to give the ball in that situation to your ball handler, pull up shooter, and playmakers in the fourth quarter. That's typically how the NBA works. Giannis didn't even get the ball at the end of the game in the fourth quarter consistently.
I don't even think they.
Well, he's scared of the ball
up for him though.
Huh?
Giannis is scared of the ball. Go ahead, John D.
No, he's not. He's scared of the free throw line. That's what he's scared of. He's not scared of the ball.
You're scared of the ball too. Hold on. Go ahead. Finish.
I don't think they had anything drawn up for AD because we've seen quarters 1 through 3. AD's going bar for bar, or not bar for bar, but I think they're on the same tier level. And then going into the fourth quarter, I don't think there was anything drawn up for them. I just think they were kind of ignoring them.
That's AD's problem. When has
wait. No, Swiper, can we refer to Dion from Ohio? Didn't he say that AD averages 6 points in the fourth quarter or something?
In the regular season?
For his career, that's what he said. Yeah, he said in his career he averages 6 points in the full quarter. I believe that's
a good amount of points in the regular season in your career. That's you know.
Yeah, it was more than Tim Duncan's 3.2.
If I average eight a quarter 4 times, that's 32 points a game right there.
32 a game.
Exactly, that's how it works. But I didn't get everyone's answer. I got Ox saying the Lakers are not contenders. Chill, I believe you said they are contenders or no? Okay, they are not contenders. John,
unless no, they're not. No.
Okay. John D does not think they are contenders. Swiper, are the Lakers contenders in your estimation?
I think with the right matchup and LeBron healthy, yes.
Okay, Swiper is the first yes. Mtel, are the Lakers contenders in your? Oh no,
they're overrated.
So with that all being said, we've got 4 no's and 1 yes.
No, Mars. If right now, be honest with me, right now, if they play the Kings in the playoffs next year, who you picking in that series?
Okay, first I'm just a host.
I
can't provide takes today as I'm just the host. But I want to ask you guys because we spoke about do the Lakers need additions? So I want to ask because the Lakers haven't made any trades, but that's not for the sake of trying.
Tosh, so here we have that I said. You're not
the lack of trying.
I don't even know why you talk to me, Tosh. You didn't hear a word that I said. I said that James, they are not contenders off the strength of James being the man. That's why they're not contenders, Toast. Because James doesn't know how not to be the man. Why don't you understand that? A lot of times I feel like when I'm talking to you dudes in the chat, I'm for real talking to children. It's like teaching trigonometry.
I mean, more than likely, Chill. More than likely.
For real. That's how I really feel like that's who I'm talking to.
If we poll the general audience,
16 and 17-year-olds. That's who I'm talking to because you dudes do not know how to process things. You guys are clearly not that smart. I've said countless times that LeBron James winning NBA championships as him being the man are over. They're done. But he doesn't know how not to be that. He does not know how not to be that. He's only played his entire career like that. The 1 year where he tried not to be like that, it was a disaster in 2011, if you guys remember. So then he goes back to doing that, and they're back to being contenders again. What are you talking about, man? I swear, talking to these dudes sometimes, I lose years off my life. I do. I swear to God, I lose years off my life. 100% I do.
Shout out to the young generation who may be watching the panel. I stand with you. But anyway, once again, the Lakers have tried, apparently, to make some moves. According to Anthony Irwin, Rob Pelinka had 6 main trade targets. Kyle Kuzma, bringing him back. Jeremy Grant, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Wendell Carter. Now, obviously, none of these trades have happened. But do you think any of these trades will elevate the Lakers into contention? For you guys who think they aren't contenders right now, do you think any of those trades will elevate the Lakers into contention?
I think Dorian Finney-Smith definitely is a difference maker for the Lakers. When we talk about especially if they're just going to be a playoff team, I think Dorian Finney-Smith can guard and he can hit the outside shot. That's really what the Lakers need.
So Dorian Finney-Smith, M-Top?
I would say, which obviously he's coming from my team, so I get to watch him all the time. I know that they went for Wendell. Wendell actually would be a good pickup for the Lakers because he kind of does a lot of stuff they want. He can be a corner shooter. Actually, very good at that. But the problem with them getting him, it would be like he would help them a lot because they really need another center. The only problem is sometimes I feel like he's more of a power forward than a center because the size would probably still kill them unless they're just trapping people all the time. He gets bodied a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But,
so we got Dorian Finney-Smith, we got Wendell Carter. Chill. Any of those names entice you for the Lakers to make them contenders?
Oh no.
Come on, Chill. Stop.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Wendell Carter.
If they had Wendell Carter Jr. and Anthony Davis, you would.
I mean, I guess AD back to the 4. I guess AD back to
We've done the Anthony Davis at the 4, done the Anthony Davis at the 5 already. We've already seen this movie, right? He plays the 5, so now he's going to move back to the 4, and he plays the 4 sometimes during the season because he's had guys play the 5 with him. So, I mean, give me a break with this.
Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, he had bad 5.
I don't think
we've already seen
Winion Gabriel.
As far as Kuzma, that reminds me of the ex-girlfriend or the ex, like I don't want to get back with you. No, I'm straight.
I mean, they did it with D'Lo.
I think Alex Caruso was really the one.
You made it clear that you didn't want to be involved with me then. So no,
we need LeBron to leave. You read that? Lakers fans are so.
I mean, some people don't want to be a team that isn't contending but isn't getting good draft picks.
The only reason the Lakers have been relevant since 2018 is because of LeBron. So as long as you have him, you should be thankful. I mean, honestly, they were nothing.
Sometimes they don't want to be relevant. Sometimes
they were doormats prior to that. That's why I hate that LeBron went to the Lakers. They didn't deserve him at all. That's a horrible franchise. They're horribly run. They have a horrible ownership, and they have a horrible culture. Everything about them sucks. And then here comes LeBron and AD.
I think I'm a pretty reasonable Lakers fan. You know, I give credit. I'm fair. So I think I'm on the rare side when it comes to Laker fans. But I do think saying LeBron should.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
He's from Charlotte.
Oh no, man. I do think saying LeBron needs to leave is kind of crazy because when LeBron got here as a Laker fan, we were all like excited. We were all extremely excited. So saying he needs to leave, especially after winning a ring with us and going to the Western Conference Finals, I think that's a little.
Wait, hold on. How does my loyalty get questioned? But Chill and this guy right here, who aren't they can just live. They can just live wherever.
I've had the same football team for over 40 years. Okay, I've had the same football team for over 40 years. Let's be clear about that. My barber,
where your taxes go? Where your taxes go, Chill? Where your taxes go?
Who used to cut my hair passed away. I cut my hair myself because I don't trust.
Where do your taxes go, Chill?
My taxes go where they're supposed to go.
Yeah, that's a hell of a federal question.
Did you believe that, Mark? They go where they're supposed to go.
That's kind of crazy. That's kind of a wild one. But Anthony Davis has played 2% of his minutes at power forward in the last 2 seasons.
He's a center.
Ideally, I think from all parties involved, they'd want him to play a little bit more there.
Yeah.
But so John D said he liked Dorian Finney-Smith. Mtel said Wendell Carter. Chill said none of them make the difference. Ox, do any of those trade targets make a difference for you on your estimation of the Lakers?
It was Wendell, DFS, and who?
It was Kyle Kuzma, Cam Johnson, Jeremy Grant, Dorian Finney-Smith, Wendell Carter, and Bruce Brown.
Yeah. Hell yeah. For sure.
Oh, Bruce Brown is pretty good too.
Who makes the difference for you?
I think Jeremy, Wendell. There was one more person I can't. I think most of them. I think they do. Those are good pieces.
Swiper, how about you? Any of those pieces?
Who did Ox say? Who did you say?
Pretty much all of them.
He said Jeremy and Wendell, but pretty much all of them.
Jeremy Grant would be great on this team. They just won't get 2 first-round picks for him because I think the Lakers think they're better than Jeremy Grant for 2 first-round picks. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
They think they're the main ticket.
It's the Lakers.
They think they're Boston.
It's the Lakers.
That doesn't make any sense. What are the Lakers? How many? 9 coaches since 2009. Chill.
They the biggest name in the NBA.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
It's
the biggest name on First Take for sure. And Brian Windhorst.
Wait.
Oh, by the way, I love Brian Windhorst. But you know what's funny to me, Ox? Every time Brian's name comes up and it says covering the NBA since 2003. What happened in 2003, Brian? What happened in 2003?
So that's not a coincidence, in your opinion?
No, I mean, we know he was covering them in high school and then moved to where he was going.
He followed with LeBron as well.
But that's fine. I don't have any issue with that because you know what? The Denver Nuggets got me where I am. So look, I'm always loyal to the 303 and 720. I'm not like y'all. I'm from where I'm from. I stand on bid 970-303-720. Ox, what's up? He know. He from Sac. He get it. Now Chill on the other hand. Worldwide Chill.
Chill, you don't got to take that, Chill.
If you want the one-on-one, I can give you the one-on-one right now.
First and foremost, I'm born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, 201, 100%, and I've lived in South Florida, 561, for the last 20 years, which means that 40 of the 50 plus years that I've been on the planet, I've been in 2 places. That's it. So I do have some loyalty. Thank you very much. Give me a break.
Just a tad, a little bit of loyalty.
So, what are we doing?
But before we move on, we got some super chats pertaining to the Lakers, so I want to read those first. Reggie Reg said, every season when they say LeBron needs help, the Olympic team is what they have in mind.
For real. Go get him a bomb squad.
I mean, I don't think players would be mad at having the Olympic team. But then he also followed that by saying, by the way, did Mars say FloJo was juicing yesterday?
And she I did not say. And she was okay. Good. Yeah, because she had a heart issue. She couldn't do that stuff.
That doesn't. Yeah,
I did not say that. I want to clarify for anyone who didn't watch yesterday. No, I didn't say that. What I did say, and I'm standing on it. Her world record is fraudulent, but I never said she was juicing. But
blaming God. Blaming God is ridiculous.
Swiper, you wasn't here yesterday.
Blaming God.
Can you clarify why her record is irrelevant, Mars?
Because it was wind aided, so it shouldn't count.
That's why it's irrelevant. Can you imagine that, Swiper? So Swiper, I'm already. So here's
how much does wind help?
So
I mean, if you got the wind behind you,
she didn't have a hurricane behind her, so I don't understand how that would have.
Anyone who there's a reason why certain times don't get counted because if the wind is too high.
But everybody ran that day, and she smoked everybody.
We're going into the discussion again. Yes, her race counted against the other people on the track that day. But when her time is being compared to history,
wait, hold on. Did anyone else cross? Hold on. We're just to be clear.
It's the time, Swiper. It's not.
I get it. But did anybody else? Hold on, but did anybody else cross at least a 10-9 in that race?
We clarified yesterday. There was 2 racers in that exact same race who ran 0.2 faster than any time they ever ran in their career. That's what we clarified.
So none Olympics, of them were, you can't.
None of them were as fast as Flojo because she was the fastest woman alive. But
so wait, no woman since that point
when everyone is running career bests.
Everyone or 3 people. Everyone or 3 people.
That's everyone.
There's only 3 people in the race, Mars.
That's enough for me.
Wait
a minute. Usain Bolt, in 2012, Usain Bolt, Tyson Gay, and Asafa Powell. They ran career best at the same time, and Usain ran a 9.5. And Tyson ran a 9.8.
He ran a 9.7 actually.
A 9.7. He broke Usain's previous record.
He ran a 9.
And still lost.
Where's the relevance in this?
But that record wouldn't count if it was wind aided, but it wasn't. So it counts.
How do you know? How do you know there wasn't a gust of wind that day in London?
Because they measure the winds.
Nah, it wasn't reported.
They literally have it.
Just like LeBron. I'm not doing this. Michael Jordan being suspended for gambling wasn't recorded.
I'm not.
We know what it was.
I'm not.
Chill. We know what happened. We all know what happened. He was suspended for gambling. They called it retirement, and he went away for 6 months.
Not suspended for gambling. That's not.
How do you know? How do you know? Were you in the room?
Chill was there.
All right. He didn't.
He was Mars.
You met Michael Jordan at Club 44 in New York. You weren't not in the meeting with him.
This is the commissioner. I got a question real quickly. If I'm in charge of the money, right? If I'm in charge of the money, and you find out that I'm stealing, would you tell me, yo, you need to go on vacation for a couple of weeks and then give me my job back?
You're the best player ever I'm the
dude in the bank, right? I'm the dude in the bank I'm bringing the most business in here, but you find out that I'm skimming off the top. Would you tell me, yo, I need you to go take a vacation for a while?
Yes, we've had artists shoot people and come back a couple years later because we want them to be money makers again. Of course, we do this all the time. If you're a golden ticket, different.
And on top of that, to your point, you said we've had artists shoot people, right? Did we
be shot?
Did we find out that they shot people?
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, was there any evidence to suggest, not just to suggest, but has it come out over the last 30 years? Jay, we know you was gambling.
Yes.
No. He didn't do
what
anything.
What are you talking about? Did you not watch the doc?
He didn't do anything wrong, Swiper.
He didn't do anything.
Just so you know, Swiper. If I'm clear, I just want to make sure I'm clear. I didn't know. I did not know that on my day off I can't go trick some dough at the casino. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I didn't know that on my day off.
We have evidence that he knew mafia members. We have evidence that he was gambling with mafia members.
I think it's well documented that Jordan was a degenerate.
100%. But
yeah.
There's no evidence to suggest that I can't go trick some dough on my day off. Okay, I'm at the card table.
Okay. How about this? There's no evidence that we knew that Barry Bonds knew he was using steroids. No evidence. There's no evidence. There is no evidence that he knew what he was doing.
There's no evidence that he knew?
That he knew. No, there is no evidence he knew. There's evidence he used, not evidence he knew.
So what you think he didn't know why his head just swelled up like a pumpkin?
Head?
I was just about to say that.
That's a myth. Steroids doesn't do that to your head. I see people on steroids at the gym all the time. They'll tell me, "Oh yeah," they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm rolling right now, whatever." They'll tell me all the little details.
No, I'm good.
That's people do that. It's regular. It's a regular thing. I don't do it. I don't need to do it, chill. Become a real athlete, unlike you. That's the difference. So I'm saying in this instance with Jordan, we knew, chill. We know, I know what you pump your arms with, so we don't got to have that discussion. Mars, continue. Go ahead.
As you were saying, Mars.
Yeah, I don't know. This conversation went left. But anyway, Brax the Bandit has a statement for you, chill. I'm not sure you're going to like it. But anyway, Brax the Bandit said, chill, call me two-faced if you want, but you pulled a 2015 Hawks. I'm just trying to make sure you beat the August allegations, but losing 2-1 to Dion is crazy. So he has you losing yesterday to Dion. So we'll see how those polls went when we get to it. I've got nothing left. Said Lakers fans may not be able to accept it, but they don't need a third All-Star. They need athletic role players like Dallas did last season, who are respectable enough from three. Rui to Toronto for Brown and D'Lo. Nets for Brown. And D'Lo to the Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith.
Is it because we've seen over the course of the last 10 to 12 years, we've seen teams like the Warriors, we've seen teams like the Heat, we've seen them win with a substantial amount of players that's what it takes to win. Like we just seen the Boston Celtics win with what they won with, even though I don't think that's a super team, but I do think that was a damn good team. Is it because we've seen James win with what we saw him win with, that's now only how he can win? Like,
no, I think if anything is moved, everybody's aware of the 2-star role player alignment. The Warriors had that, the Nuggets had that, the Bucks had a similar construct to that. And I think the Lakers, yeah, if they had Jeremy Grant right now, and they had I don't know who's a cheap two, like a Keon Ellis, let's say, like if they had a Keon Ellis on the roster, do you think they could win?
But Jeremy Grant getting paid like a starter,
30 million, 35 million a year.
I think it's something like that. Yeah, 35.
That's OG Anunoby money.
But Swiper, everything that you just said is
there's a substantial difference between those two players.
But even if Jeremy Grant was, let's say for the sake of argument, Jeremy Grant is on the roster. Is Jeremy Grant closing games? Like how are we winning games?
1000%.
Is Jeremy Grant close? Is that who we relying on to close games for us?
He's in that lineup.
So we got James, Jeremy Grant, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell.
Austin Reeves.
Okay, so we'll take Russell off the floor. We'll have D'Angelo Russell. We'll have D'Angelo, Austin Reeves, and who's the other five man? Who's the fifth guy?
It's AD, LeBron, Jeremy Grant, Austin Reeves, and then whoever else they get at that 2-guard spot.
Does James trust Jeremy Grant enough to close games?
To be a corner scorer?
More than Torian Prince.
He should.
More than Cam Reddish.
Yeah,
we're asking Anthony. So we're asking Jeremy Grant. All you got to do is just make open shots. That's it. So you
make open shots,
offensive rebounds.
Jeremy Grant will be the third best player on that team.
Do you think he could do better than Naz Reid did last year in the playoffs?
Man, and that's what I'm asking, because I'm looking at this crew and I'm thinking about closing games, and I think about Joker closing games, right? I'm thinking about guys shutting the door on teams. A specific guy. James doesn't know how to play not like that.
But James does close the door in the clutch, though. And Austin Reeves do.
Right. And how's that been going for them, Dwight?
They lost to one team twice.
Yes.
I think their clutch net rating was actually pretty good last year. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I think
I could look it up.
I think they only lost 8 games in the clutch, and 3 of them were to Denver.
I
trust Swiper to know that stat, so I'm gonna go.
Which is fair. Yeah, which is fair. But if we're going throughout the entire playoffs, right? If we're going throughout the entire playoffs, can James throw this team on his back like he has done in the past? I think he's too old to do that, and I don't think he doesn't know how to play like that. That's the problem that I'm having with him.
I got to ask before I get into the next super chats. Who's the best player on the Lakers in you guys' estimation? I'll start with John D, I guess.
I still think it's LeBron.
Chill.
I think it's Anthony Davis.
Emto?
It's Anthony Davis.
Swiper?
By the way, Mars, I was one off. They lost 9 games and lost 3 of them to Denver last year in the clutch. So they were really freaking good. They were 24. They were 24-6 in non-Nuggets clutch games last year in the regular season. It's LeBron. The playmaker scorer is always the best player on the team when it matters most.
So we got two for LeBron, 2 for Anthony Davis. When Ox gets back, I'll ask him the same question. We'll see where we stand on the Lakers' best player.
Did you not vote? You can't vote at all today.
I'm just a host, man. I'm just a host. Unfortunately, Ron is still sabotaging me. I can't run polls. I would love to run a poll on this, but I can't.
You don't have the ability to run polls?
I don't have the ability to run a poll. So unfortunately, I have to just read the chat. The chat is overwhelmingly saying Anthony Davis.
So he gave you a bad link. And on top of that, you can't run a poll. So
yes, Ron is being an L host.
And he gave him the 03 draft day.
Yeah, Ron has given me this is what I'm dealing with today, and I'm still being a W host. Ron sent out the wrong link to my panelists, so I had to send everyone the link individually a minute before the show. God. He doesn't give me the ability to run polls. God. So I have to just ask questions and read the chat and try to get the majority answer I can. And he gave me the day of filler topics. Ron is doing everything he can to act like he's a good host.
But Ron ain't here today, though, Mars. So let's keep this train moving. Let's keep this train.
I'm doing the best I can with the cards I've been dealt.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can with the cards I've been dealt. But I've got nothing left. Said Reeves guarded Jamal Murray well. He's not a cone anymore.
No,
how do you guys view?
No, don't.
I think that's just
please don't take that run seriously. Please don't. Could if we do that small sample size thing, then Reeves is a perfectly fine POA defender. No, he's not good enough.
Okay,
no.
So Swiper doesn't believe in the defense. Anyone believe in Austin Reeves' defense?
No.
I don't think his on-ball defense. No, but I mean Anthony Davis, as good as he is as a rim protector and an interior presence, he could protect him as much as he possibly can. I think that's probably the best option. But I mean, when you got teams that consistently hunt guys, like teams that hunt Damian Lillard, right? Teams that hunt Steph Curry. When you're doing that against the Lakers and you putting him in situations like pick and roll and spreading out the offense, no. He's one of the guys that you definitely go after. 100% you do.
There's only 4 white POA guards in basketball you're not attacking. There's Caruso, Brown, 5 Pods next year. I think next year Pods. I think and then Pat Connaughton, probably not attacking. I'll add great. No, I'll add Grayson Allen.
I was gonna say Grayson Allen
to that now. I think he's developed enough now.
Grayson Allen too. Yes, I was gonna say Grayson Allen too. Yes,
and then Aleska Armanovich, obviously, clearly.
And the last one was who?
Grayson Allen.
Yeah, Grayson Allen.
Not attacking. Okay, I guess.
I mean, I'm saying like you're not willing. I'd rather go at Bradley Booker.
You'd rather go at Book than
just
to wear them down, just to wear them
for
down?
both reasons. Yeah, for both reasons.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I'm with you. Okay.
Dante DiVincenzo, that's another one. Yeah, that's
I'm not going after Dante DiVincenzo. I'm not.
Right.
Okay.
That's 6. That's a lot. That's a lot. Reed should take on that list.
6.
Personally, I've seen teams try and attack Sam Hauser. They don't really get much sex.
Sam was locked.
They really don't, Mars. They don't. They do everything they can to put him in.
When you look at Boston, it's like he really is your best option. But I think he's solid. So I would say Sam Hauser, I think, is solid. But thank you for that list of names.
I don't think we give him nearly as much credit as Sam Hauser as we do, or as we should, as an on-ball defender. I ain't even talking about off the ball, or just as an on-ball defender. He's very much a disruptor. He ain't Caruso, he ain't Lou Dort or nobody like that, but he's really good in closeouts. He beats guys to spots. He doesn't foul much. And we also take away from he's 6'7", so he's not a small dude, right? So he's not he's not the kid from the Miami Heat, right? He's not Duncan Robinson, no, where teams consistently go after him, right? He's not that.
Yeah,
he can definitely defend on the basketball. We definitely got to give him.
Wait, somebody said Dante ain't white. Dante is white.
Dante is white, yeah.
Yeah, Dante is 1000% white.
Yeah,
don't let that fade for you.
Sticking with the Lakers, Biggs said the Lakers addressed.
That's it.
Biggs said the Lakers addressed their biggest issue. They got Darvin Ham out of there. He was the worst tactician of any notable team. Dude couldn't draw a play. So with that being said, do you guys? I know we haven't seen JJ Reddick coach, but do you think the addition of JJ Reddick or the removal of Darvin Ham will elevate the Lakers in any sort of way?
I think that the thing we got to talk about more than anything is how he is as a manager, because that's who Phil Jackson was more than anything. Like when I think about great coaches, I think about how you manage your talent, right? And how the word I'm looking for is how I forgot the word that I'm looking for, but how they come after you, but how they respond. That's what I'm looking for. How they respond to you, as a manager. So when you drawing up plays, not just drawing up plays with your rotations, do they trust you? Do they listen to you? So I got to see how JJ Reddick manages this Laker team, because for him to be more than a figurehead, he's got to show me that, I know how to at least not necessarily keep James or keep Anthony Davis in line, but just have them respect him, where when he says something, it's legit. That's what I have to see more than anything from him.
I think what's going to be interesting to me is how he responds when there's like, okay, maybe the Lakers are on a bad stretch, or maybe the Lakers lost a couple of bad games. How is he going to respond, and how is he really going to deal with the talent in front of him? I think he's going to have a bit of a better time than Darvin Ham, because JJ Reddick was just recently a player. I think he's going to really connect with the players a little better. But in the end of the day, this is still a rookie head coach going to probably one of the worst situations to be a head coach, or I would say one of the worst situations as a playoff team to be a head coach in. There's going to be a lot of lights on him. It's just going to be really interesting to see how he responds. But I can't really say much about the Darvin Ham versus JJ Reddick thing, especially when we haven't seen JJ coach a single game yet. So that's really what I will be looking at.
Was Darvin Ham really that bad? Like when I
think his lineups were bad. I think some of his lineups were bad.
There are some things that maybe I might be understating it. There were some things that I was very questionable about, like him keeping Taurean Prince in the game, or he's got this rotation where no matter what is going on in the game, James is coming out of the game with 6 minutes in the third quarter. No matter what's going on, he's coming out of the game. And I'm thinking to myself, you have to come off that. They're playing against the Warriors. They get back in the game. It's now a 2-possession game when it was like 14 at one point, and James is the catalyst to that. 6 minutes left in the quarter, he takes James out. I'm thinking, okay, that's not good. No, you stick with the lineup that you got. If you want to take somebody out, take somebody else out. Don't take him out right now. Just the same as if it was Anthony Davis. Don't take him out. His rotations seem to be a bit much. But am I understating him being bad?
One thing that really stood out to me was Western Conference Finals season before last. He came out with a starting lineup of Dennis Schroeder, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and AD. The Nuggets had 5 offensive rebounds within the first 6 minutes of the game. It's things like that, and then you don't make any adjustments to the lineup. Things like that is where
they had a strategy behind that, though. They wanted to put 4 ball handlers on the court to move. The point was to see if they can get them out of position by having 4 shooters on the court, and then LeBron having options around him. So it just didn't work.
I don't know, man. Did
you think it was gonna work, Swiper?
Or I knew exactly what he was doing as soon as he did it. I thought it was a good try. And then they made
you understood the perspective, but you knew it wasn't gonna work.
And then in the fourth quarter, per Nick Wright, so I heard, he said, "Oh, if I was Denver, I'd be more concerned about that loss than the Lakers are that win than the Lakers should be about the loss." They made the adjustment. There was the Rui adjustment. Chill. That's what did it. They changed the game plan.
Those days. Yeah, I remember those days where they found something with Rui. They did not find something. But
Mike Malone fixed that. So Mike Malone fixed that so quick. He was like,
once Jokic sees a coverage for a long enough time, he gonna figure it out. That's how I view it anyway. But
okay, we'll figure that
out. The poll for the best player on the Lakers did run. Claire had to run it behind the scenes. Thank you very much, Claire. Anthony Davis won 62 to 37%. So there we go. That's
right, but James has been so good that you still look at him like that.
No, I don't. I'm watching.
Yes, you do.
I watched the playoffs.
You thought LeBron was their best player in the playoffs?
1,000%. Yeah, of course.
1,000%.
If you can't play,
he's got a heavy value
effectiveness in the fourth quarter. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so why does he lose effectiveness in the fourth quarter?
Because he can't do nothing.
It's not that he can't do nothing, Swiper. That's not true. When we don't go to him, when we stop and change our offense, when we now are guys
change our offense. You know why? All right, so you're telling me down the stretch of a game, you want to give AD touch on the post consistently?
Why not? Well, I'm not even. Let's take the post off the floor for a second, right? Let's take the post off the floor. How about the idea of us going to him like we were going to him? Because it wasn't like your Denver team, Swiper, did that much of an adjustment. I mean, they did adjust, but there's things that we can do that you can't really stop.
They did adjust. They put Aaron Gordon on Anthony Davis. Right. They put Jokic on Rui Hachimura.
Right. So
and he can't just score on AG because he's bigger. He's stronger than him and he's smaller.
Okay. So even with him being stronger, he can't stop me from scoring.
Yes, he did multiple times.
If you put me in a space, right? If you put me in a space where I'm at the mid post or I'm at the mid range, that action that we were running, if you put me there where I'm consistently getting open and we're running our offense, there's no way that I can't get open shots. That's number one. Number two, on the box,
a mid post up versus Aaron Gordon.
Okay, so let's talk about Aaron Gordon on the box against Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is bigger, right? That's
bigger. How tall? Height?
Yes, he's 6'10".
So that's it.
Okay, he's 250 pounds.
No, he's not.
Anthony Davis isn't.
He ain't no 250, bro.
Anthony.
What's Anthony Davis to you, Swiper?
See, he's probably like 230. Something like that.
Now remember, Mars, we talking to a football player. Football players, if you don't look like you 260, you're small. Do you think he weighs 15 pounds more than Aaron Gordon? I think he's 250 pounds, 100%. I've actually seen him. So yes.
You seen him where?
Big. So when I came down here.
I mean, if you ain't see him on a scale,
did you put him on a weight? Yeah, did you put him on a scale?
I know what 250 pounds looks like, Swiper. Yes, I do, because I've seen a bunch of guys that play basketball that's that big.
Well, Jokic isn't 284 anymore, but so
the point I'm making is when you have that kind of when you have it going like that in terms of offense, even if we switch a guy on you, there's no way that we should just stop going to him. And a guy like Aaron Gordon, as athletic as he is as big as he is, he shouldn't be able to slow me down. Not him. That's that
doesn't make any sense.
Why not?
Because he's done it for multiple years now. That when AG is on AD, the effectiveness level goes down because he can't just move him. And as the Laker fan can attest to, he's quicker than him side to side. So Anthony Davis also doesn't have like a legit power game either. And AD, as he knows, Laker fan knows, he likes to flail sometimes. So he'll literally flail himself out of a shot because he's trying to get a call. And so if he misses, he's on the ground running, and then the Nuggets were taking off the other way in the fourth quarter.
And with what you just said, would it make any sense? Would it also make sense with a guy like Anthony Davis, who they stop going to him and then they'll go to him and throw him out of rhythm? So would that have anything to do with it? Because when I watch
if you're throwing out of rhythm, you ain't LeBron, because LeBron can go multiple possessions without the touch.
That's not true. That's not true, Swiper. Because
LeBron loses effectiveness if he doesn't get a touch.
Well, he's always got the ball. That's number one. He always has the basketball.
So would you rather AD or LeBron have the ball down the stretch of a game, or even Austin Reeves? Austin Reeves gets more touches than Anthony Davis.
I would rather have the guy in Anthony Davis, who I was going to early, keep going to him and keep him engaged in the game, because Aaron Gordon is not going to have that much of an effect on my offense.
You need to go back and watch that close to that series.
I saw the game, Swiper, and I'm watching them.
But Reeves was hitting all his jumpers too.
I'm watching them completely go away from Anthony Davis.
If Reeves is hitting his jumpers down the stretch of the game,
touches 3, 4, 5 trips, and now I'm out of rhythm.
But it wasn't their offense; it was their defense, because AD was getting cooked on the other end. Reeves was making his shots. He was. No, I'm saying he was. Jokic, that game 2, whenever that was putting him in the post multiple sessions, and then remember he got that turnaround and one on AD, and then LeBron couldn't rebound the ball, and Aaron Gordon got in and threw it out to Porter, and Porter also had like a 70 true shooting that series. So I'm saying the reason why AD didn't get the ball is more so, I think, because the matchup advantage just wasn't there in the fourth to the same degree, and Austin Reeves wasn't missing. Like, he was making the shots. And then the only reason they lost game 2 or 5, because LeBron missed the open 3-pointer.
I think Swiper, you're misconstruing what I'm saying when I say a guy shooting the basketball and touching the basketball. So when we got a big man that's engaged in the offense, like Shaq when he was playing with Brian, I'm watching him play against Philly in the finals. You don't have to shoot the ball every trip. You got to touch it to keep him engaged in the offense. And they weren't doing that with Anthony Davis, where they had stretches where he wouldn't touch the ball 4 or 5 trips. Forget shooting the ball. He wouldn't touch it. That completely throws me out of my rhythm. And now what I got to do, when I get the ball off the glass and I'm running, now I got to look for the ball in transition, which also wasn't happening when we get late in the game. So when you have that coupled with not even touching the ball, I'm completely out of rhythm. Aaron Gordon, to his defense, is a damn good player, but he should not be able to make me irrelevant late in games. I am a much better offensive player than Aaron Gordon. I am a much better scorer than Aaron Gordon is a defensive player. He should not be able to make me irrelevant.
He did it to Kevin Durant. He did it to Jimmy Butler. That's just a part of his assignment, though, Chill. It's all about matchups, and
sure.
Aaron just able to be. And again, I think some of this is just the way smaller player versus bigger player. AG is able to be more physical than Anthony Davis because he's smaller than him, like in terms of his height. So it takes more effort to try to move him, as opposed to, Austin Reeves dribble, pull up hesitation, and he's just able to hit a lot of these shots. And he was, and again, I'm trying to Austin Reeves was fine down the stretch of the game. LeBron James was fine down the stretch of the game. It was the other end. When they had to get key stops, they just couldn't get them. And the Nuggets just got more key stops than they did.
I won't argue that part. That part I won't argue.
Very, very interesting discussion there. Shout out to Tay Luke for becoming a member.
About time.
Couple more Lakers super chats, and then we will move on. The Trib One said, "Do you guys think there's a chance D'Lo plays the Manu Ginobili role?" I'm assuming he means sick man, and not will he be as good as Ginobili?
Not for that team. Not for a playing team.
So no, right? Everyone saying no. Okay.
If he was on a better team, yeah.
The Trib One then followed it up by saying, "Big bias. I would love to see Bam next to AD."
There's a lot of people I'd love to see Bam next to, Chill.
Like a number 15 in Denver.
This kid Ware down here. He's gonna be good for him. He's gonna be really good.
We might talk about Khalil Ware a little bit later and something he said a little while ago. Emmett Till said Swiper hijacking the show to flirt with Chill is nasty.
I'm talking basketball. I guess I'm hijacking the show. I'll stop. Anybody want to talk about coffee next?
Remember, Swiper, you gotta be careful, right? You know, you gotta be real careful, brother. Because if you buy me a cup of coffee, it might turn into something else.
That's right. I can't buy you coffee. I can't take you to a game. What else on the list? What else is on the list?
Oh, if you bought me a plane ticket to your city,
I can't write you a personalized letter that says good greetings. You know, get well.
A letter in 2024.
You can't write a letter.
I mean, with all the technology we got, writing letters in 2024, I don't see the point.
I was writing letters in 2022.
What's the difference between writing a letter and writing a text? One's more important than the other.
One's more.
If I hand wrote Mars, think about this. Real talk. So after we meet, if we have a really great relationship, what if I wrote you a letter, I spray some cologne on it, I send it to you, and I put some dirt in there?
You're not beating allegations if you do that. I'm saying, you're clearly not.
That's a little much.
Yeah, you're not beating the allegations if you do that. Like you're just not.
That's extra right there. We ain't gotta do all that, yo.
Hey, once again, love.
How about you just give me a pound and be like, yo, I'll see you soon. How about that?
Swiper, you spray cologne for your friends? That's what you do?
No, what I'll do, I'll get some dirt from our place of meeting. I'll put it in the letter. It is sent it off. You collect it in a jar.
Oh my god. Rambo with a member re-up chat. Thank you very much for JD clarifying that yesterday. He said, "Salute panel. I wish some Laker fans would stop complaining about Bron not having enough help when there are plenty of teams who wish they had that." Are there plenty of teams who wish they had the Lakers roster?
No.
Luka does not want the Lakers roster. I think he would love to play with Anthony Davis, but I'm not sure he would love that roster. Anthony Edwards, I'm 100% confident he ain't looking at that Laker roster going, damn, I would love to take LeBron's place on that roster. No, he is not saying that. Neither is Jayson Tatum or Joel Embiid. No, these dudes are not saying that. Absolutely not.
So I guess not. Sam and Riv, I think I said that right, asked me to pull up a clip from X from Pat Bev's podcast. He speaks on what Ham admits to doing wrong. If you send the link in the chat, I will open it, but I'm not gonna actively go search for it. Right. Sorry, but if you send me the link, I will show it. But we boycotting Pat Bev low key right now. He's saying some outlandish things. Lee Mack said Wiki has Anthony Davis at 253 pounds. Not sure how reliable.
He bulked up to 250. His second, it was his second or third year. I believe it was his second or third year in the league. He bulked up to 250. His second or third year in the league. That's where he was.
Maybe. Alec Tanksley said technically Mars is right. Wind over 2.5 and/or 5 miles per hour, depending on location. Times don't count.
Then why are we running it? Then why are we running?
Is that what happened in the 1980s though? Was it over 2.5?
I don't.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you the story of what happens and why it's fraudulent.
What I'm trying to make
is fraudulent, or you think it's fraudulent?
You can make your decision, but I believe it's fraudulent. It's not confirmed. This is factual information. That day, every event that day had over 5 mile per hour winds. Every single event, whether that's the field events, all the track races, all had over 5 mile per hour winds. Flojo's race, both of her races, she raced twice that day. Both of her races coincidentally had 0.0 winds. Not 0.4, not 0.6.
Never heard of a dead spot in the wind?
The second part, which is why I think it's clear as day that they're capping 0.0. You can see the track next to the track. You can see like the sand pit where the long jump is. You can see the field. You can see the wind. Everyone can see the wind. But somehow during FloJo's race, it said 0.0. When you look online and you look at the women's 100, pardon? It was backwind. It would be to her back, which would make her run faster.
She wouldn't be going. The wind wouldn't be going against
her.
So right.
anyone who watches this footage, you can see there's wind. But her race apparently 0.0. When you look at the record of women's 100 meter times, her race 10.49 says 0.0 wind. Anyone who watches the footage, anyone who's aware of what was happening that day, has all said it was windy that day. But somehow her race said 0.0. It's fraudulent. So
I'm looking, hold on. I'm looking at the footage right now. This is a bunch of black women that are running.
Yes.
Okay.
This one woman has a the 1980s, the little part of it. It's not moving. It's not moving, chill. She can't in her stance. It's not moving, chill.
Okay.
Her hair ain't moving.
Okay, Swiper. The real ones know Elaine Thompson-Herah is the world record holder, but we aren't getting back into this again.
Who is?
Elaine Thompson-Herah. She broke the record 2 years ago in 2021.
And
she ran a 10.54.
No, I know who that is. I'm watching the video now. Her hair is not moving. Are we allowed to show this? This is not.
I don't know if we are.
If it's on the Olympics, don't do it.
There's a bunch of black women. Hair is not moving. Mars, you probably been around a bunch of black women in your life. I imagine you got black parents, obviously. Somewhere down the line. I'm watching it. I'm looking. Nothing's moving. Nothing's moving, Chill. Nothing's moving.
Hold on, Mars. What I'm saying though is time matters in these races. And if we have a discrepancy in when, because you factor that, I understand everything that you're saying, Mars, and factually what you're saying is correct. What I'm saying is if time matters, and this is something that could hinder time, why are we running? Why are we running? That's all I'm asking. Why are we running? That's it.
Scheduling. You're not gonna reschedule. But next super chat, and then we are gonna move on. We've got Masenko G once again talking about Chill in the PCL. He said, "I'll take it one further. Dion beating Chill is the biggest upset in PCL. He thinks it was a 3-0 sweep. 3-0 sweep. Chill said Jamal Crawford could play defense
compared to, and this is what I'm talking about, Swiper. When I'm talking to kids, compared to who we were talking about.
Wait, what was this discussion?
The topic was about Jamal Crawford, and I had to correct Dion because he kept saying Jamal Murray. It was making everybody nuts. But the conversation was about Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams. So compared to Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford is a better defender. What not now? Am I saying that Jamal Crawford could defend like Drew Holiday or Marcus Smart? No, but compared to Lou Williams, he's a better defender. That was the idea.
I mean, they both are sucky defenders.
Yeah, they're both horrible. But
who sucks the worst though of the two of them?
Who sucks more?
Yes.
So one.
I'm gonna be like, if I'm totally honest,
it might have been Lou because he had better defenders around him.
I think Jamal Crawford is a worse defender. He's just bigger, if I'm honest. But him being bigger does help. But I also think Lou Williams is just clearly the better player. So, might be a bit of bias in that one.
So somebody said comparing the 15th seed to the 14th seed.
I mean, it's low key the Pistons versus the Wizards. Low key,
right?
Like, that's really what it is.
Right.
Oh, we got a couple members chat. Someone said SG Sports Talk said he's a big fan of the channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Baby.
Thank you for being a member for 4 months. Brax the Bandit wants to clarify. He said, "No, Chill. You said he doesn't get picked at
as much as Lou Williams. That's the point. Why don't
they were still going at him every play while he was out there? That was just
what argument did you Did you lose 2-1? What were the one that you lost?
I don't know.
People think
did
he
I lose?
Lost. Yeah,
did I lose?
The people who think Chill lost think he lost the I forgot the topics.
It was Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams. It was the Lakers 80s, Lakers 80s.
Oh yeah, the Bulls versus the 90s.
To be honest with you, I couldn't argue two three-peats. That was, and I thought I did a good job.
You took Lakers like the 2000 Lakers.
Showtime Lakers.
I had to take Showtime, and it's very difficult to argue that.
And okay, well then you could easily say that Jordan never beat them either. So
I would have started bringing up retirements. That's why I would have done.
I brought up stuff like 3 different guys won the Finals MVP as opposed to 1 guy on the Bulls. They had 5 guys make the All NBA team and All Defensive team. Like you had James Worthy, Jabbar, and Magic make the All League team. You had Michael Cooper and AC Green make the All League Defensive team. I was bringing up stuff like that in terms of players.
The Bulls would have. I'm not saying they would have walked the Bulls, but they definitely, for me, probably would have beat the Bulls if they at their apex. Yeah, all of them. Jordan, who's the best player Jordan beat in the finals? Malone?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
No,
Charles Barkley actually.
No.
I'm not going to hate on my own argument. Charles Barkley was the better player.
I think it was Magic. I think Magic was the best player that he beat.
He didn't play.
Magic played.
No, in 91 he played. It was
he wasn't playing though. Like I'm saying, he wasn't playing.
Yes, he was.
It wasn't Magic.
He was playing. Yes,
it wasn't like 80s Magic.
I mean, 91 Magic was playing Magic.
No, it was Magic was there.
Magic was really elite in 1991.
Yeah, but it wasn't Magic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like Magic.
I'm not gonna lie. If someone says 91 Magic is better than 97 number 32, that's a pretty reasonable take.
Right? Is that ridiculous to think that?
Well, I think okay. So a top 30 player ever. Great.
Magic was still.
Who's the best player to Showtime Lakers beat? Bird?
Yeah.
Bird versus Magic.
Bird versus Magic. Bird. That 91 Magic versus Bird.
That might be a hot take.
Somebody said I cooked my own take. Nah, I was right. Charles Barkley is better than Malone. Don't let me cross my own take.
Nah, that's cap. But
Charles Barkley was not.
What did Malone do? Nothing. What did Malone really didn't do nothing in the finals? Nothing.
Okay.
There's no way I'm coming back to this swiper.
Here we go.
Well, don't worry. We're not staying on this.
No, I sound like that father that I know I just told you to clean this room up, and I come back in and this room ain't clean.
That's not chill. That's not funny because I just went through that just yesterday with my son. He was
I'm
not
sorry
trying
I
to clean
brought that up.
room.
I apologize.
That's PTSD.
Oh my God! I told her, look, chill. I had him go in the room, start cleaning. I come back, he in there playing with Legos.
I know.
I'm like, but I know you're not here building Legos. I said, all right, you're gonna stay in this room until this room is clean. Don't even come out.
We thankfully aren't gonna stay on this Barkley weird tangent. Drink more water because you Chill spoke about the Lakers being built for the playoffs. He asked if you can name every team that is built for the playoffs. Can you name every playoffs
team?
Starting East, Deal. Start East.
Teams that's built. Okay, obviously the Celtics are built for the playoffs. The Knicks are built for the playoffs. I think Cleveland's built for the playoffs. I think Orlando is built for the playoffs off the strength of how good they are defensively. I think Paolo is going to be better this season. Their backcourt in terms of Suggs, I think he's going to be better offensively. I think they're built for the playoffs. I think Miami is built for the playoffs. Indiana, I worry about them defensively. That's the team that I worry about. Milwaukee, I don't think they're built for the playoffs. They still don't have enough to protect Damian Lillard, and I'm worried about Giannis in terms of his health. Now, in the Western Conference,
what about the Sixers?
No, because it's all predicated on Joel Embiid, and I think he's made of glass. Yep. Oklahoma City, they're built for the playoffs. Denver is definitely built for the playoffs, just off the strength of having Joker and having Jamal Murray. I think they're built for the playoffs. Minnesota is built for the playoffs. The Clippers are fool's gold. Dallas. Phoenix is not built for the play. I don't think Phoenix is built for the playoffs. I don't think New Orleans is built for the playoffs neither. I think the Lakers are built for the playoffs, just off the strength of the two-man game that they have between both James and Anthony Davis. I think Sacramento is built for the playoffs too.
Oh my gosh!
And I think Houston is built for the playoffs.
Houston,
I do. I think
what playoffs?
Don't question it.
In-season tournament playoffs.
I think Houston is built for the playoffs this year.
Who got a better starting five? Houston or San Antonio?
Who has a better starting five? Houston or San? I think
Houston.
Wemby is exponentially better than everybody else. I won't argue that. But from 1 through 5, I think Houston starting five.
Well, name the starting five for Houston, then you think
so.
Better.
Houston, Houston, you got Van Fleet at the 1, you got Green at the 2,
mid.
You got Brooks at the 3.
Dylan Brooks. You got Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith.
Alfred and Şengün.
You got Şengün at the 5. So first and
foremost,
foremost,
what doing right now?
Okay, hold on, Mars. So Dylan Brooks, in my estimation, straighten me out if I'm wrong. I think Dylan Brooks is a starter on it. It's not many teams in the league. I'll just look in the Eastern Conference alone. There's not many teams in the league that I can say that's playoff teams that Dylan Brooks wouldn't start for. I think he's a starter on a playoff team. Jabari Smith, I think he's a 3-man, and I think that we're looking at an all-league defender really soon. That's what I think we're looking at with him. And I think we're also looking at, I think his scoring is going to go up this year. So he's a starter on a playoff team. I think he's great. Şengün, I think we're reaching all-star level this season coming up. I think we're gonna have an all-star at some point this season. I think Jalen Green, I think we move into that next phase with him. What you saw last season, that last month and a half, I don't think that was a fluke. I don't think that I'm going to get that where I'm going to get like 28, 29 a game, but I do think that it's going to be somewhere in between where I'm going to get 24, 25 on a consistent basis. So Van Fleet is your vet. So with Van Fleet being your vet, I don't think San Antonio, they still don't know how to get the big fella the ball on a consistent basis.
Name the San Antonio starting 5 now.
So
Chris Paul, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan, Wemby.
Boom.
That's
that the Rockets 5 is better.
Fred Van Vliet is better than Chris Paul.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
We're moving on.
Bro, we're gonna get into it on Sunday.
Not this year.
What do you think he is?
Not this year. Not going this year.
2024.
Nope.
Fred Van Fleet is not better than Chris
The
Paul.
on-off for Chris Paul will be better this year than Fred Van Fleet's. I'll tell you that right now. And
what are you basing that on, Swiper?
What do you mean? What am I basing it on?
That's a
better passer, better playmaker, better mid-range shooter, easy. Better mid-range shooter.
Better mid.
You mean?
Hey, bro. Hey,
he won the minutes with the Warriors last year.
Yes, he was a positive as a rotation player. That's what he was. So now what we're going to have him as.
And Stephon Castle coming off. What's up?
One more time.
I'm getting busy. The Spurs are getting busy this year. I guarantee you. They're getting busy.
Stay right here, Swiper. Stay right here. As a rotation player, he was a positive. I won't argue that. As a starter now, right? As a starter.
Next to Wemby. They're two. I guarantee you their 2-man game can be better than Şengün and Jalen Green.
I'm not.
What do you mean you don't know?
No.
All right.
No.
Now, obviously, Mars is bothered by this conversation, so I can't have it anymore.
I don't know. I don't understand why we can't have.
I didn't know we was having Chris Paul versus Van Vliet conversations in 2024. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing neither, Mars. I didn't. I did not know that was a thing. Right. So Van Fleet's coming.
I from that point is right.
I think Chris Paul's gonna be 40 in February. He's gonna be 40. You like a 40-year-old.
So when we get to November and I'm right, what are you gonna say? Are you gonna apologize?
You're not gonna be right.
So
are you both going to apologize?
So 2 weeks into the season, is that what you're saying? 2 weeks?
End of November. Let's say by the end of November, they have a better on-court net rating with the 2-man game, and they both have identical records.
The season? Are you kidding me?
That's fine. I said I didn't say for how long. I said they will be better. So to start the year off, when Chris Paul is definitively there, when Chris Paul is definitively there to start the season off chill, after the first month, we're going to revisit this conversation, and you're going to apologize.
And then on top of that, you're going to apologize when Chris Paul breaks down like a 2004 Buick that's got an oil leak. You're going to apologize.
Why would he break down like that?
Because he's almost 40. That's why. And he's broke down 40. Over the last. He's different. And there's no way that you can say that that's the same between him and Chris Paul. No way. He's different. 100% he is.
Yeah, we're just going
to. At some point, Mars, you got to do your job.
Yeah,
wow.
Okay. First of all, I have been
whatever.
The
matter of fact,
host.
I want to go to Ox Court with
Ox.
That's what I want to do. I want to go to Ox Court with Ox. I'm sick of him doing that. I'm bringing Ox to the beef. We have beef to address. Ox Court, Swiper versus Ox. That's what it needs to be.
Damn, Ox, he calling you out.
I've never done smoke before Swiper. So.
Hey, he gonna put himself on trial.
I'm talking
about Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, I feel like, based off how he's feeling right now, that should be one of his topics in PCL. I'm just saying.
What, the Spurs?
No, Chris Paul versus Fred Van Fleet.
Spurs versus Rockets, though.
Yeah, that's our topic on Sunday.
Is it actually?
What's the topic?
I kept saying, I was like, yeah, we're going to get into it on Sunday because that's a topic on Sunday.
Oh.
Which topic is that? I forgot.
The Spurs versus the Rockets, I guess.
I don't even remember what the topics are. What are the topics?
I like that.
Damn, John D. He's saying he not even rehearsing his topics. That's what he's telling me.
No. I'm not saying I got a job. I got jobs. Okay, I got stuff to do. There's a process.
He
process. I'm packing for a trip. What you want me to do? I'm packing for a trip. I got laundry to do. I got to take care of my dog, the kind of Corso.
Respectable. It's respectable.
John D, if you lose with the Rockets.
No, Mars, you're so he is not a real Rockets fan. Don't let him boost you. He's not a real Rockets fan.
Okay, Tyrone Flawless Wiggins said Chilltown definitely beat Dion. 2-1 clear or a debatable 3-0. So there you go, Joe. You got people who believe in you.
Hey.
Mo wanted you to respect the top 5 duo of Harden and Kawhi when you said the Clippers are fool's goals.
My lord.
And then Claire wants the chat to send poll suggestions and like the stream. Yes, do like the stream, please. Like the stream for the W host. I think I'm doing an excellent job right now. But now that we have got through pretty much everything we need to get through for the first part of the show, I want to ask you guys how you feel about this. This is the Defensive Player of the Year odds for next season.
Oh my God.
Wemby is the overwhelming favorite, followed by Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, Chet Holmgren, Evan Mobley, Anthony Davis, Jaren Jackson, Giannis Antetokounmpo, OG Anunoby, and Alex Caruso.
Where the hell is DeMontis?
that one voter gonna be.
But that says Aaron Gordon at the bottom, by the way.
Does it?
Aaron Gordon where?
Alex Caruso.
Nice.
Oh, it's far away. I can't see it. Okay.
It says Alex Caruso. But how do you guys feel about these odds with Wemby being number 1 going into year 2?
Narrative.
Anthony Davis falling outside the top 5 at number 6.
I think that's crazy.
How do you guys feel about this?
Why is it ridiculous? I'm listening. Go ahead.
Rudy's about to get blackballed from this award, by the way.
I don't think he ever wins it again, to be honest with you, Swiper.
Yeah, after this postseason, I don't think he wins another. And I don't think that's fair.
Johnny, they're gonna have the best defense in the league and be like a +3 on everybody else, and he's still not gonna be in top.
He's still not gonna win. He's still not gonna win.
What? Please don't tell me that. That sounds ridiculous, Swiper. What are we doing, yo? What's happening right now? Like, we can't nobody score against us in the fourth quarter, right? We shutting the door on people. This guy is 3rd in the league in rebounding. He's 2nd in blocks, but no, you get no defensive player of the year votes. No.
And we've seen defensive players get taken care of offensively by just greater offensive players. You cannot blame Rudy Gobert for not being able to guard Jokic and Luka Doncic in space. You're not going out and asking Rudy Gobert to guard Luka Doncic in space. But yet people are calling Rudy a trash defender because he got scored on by Luka Doncic in isolation, one of the better isolation players in the league. I think Rudy Gobert should be in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year every year because he's one of the better defenders in the league. He's probably top 3, top 5 defenders in the league. I think Anthony Davis is still in that same mark. I think Evan Mobley is a solid defender. I think Chet's a solid defender. But when we see guys do it consistently, 3, 4, 5 years, I think they should be at the top of the list. I still think Wemby is very block hungry. I think he chases after blocks a little bit more than people would expect for him to be a Defensive Player of the Year type of candidate in his second season, when guys like AD, Gobert, they shut down the floor from different sides because of their presence. Rudy Gobert's help defense, Anthony Davis's help defense, the way they protect the rim. I just don't think Wemby should be the clear front runner for Defensive Player of the Year because he averaged 3.5 blocks. That's more.
Yeah,
that's not enough to be like a Defensive Player of the Year front runner, because even Dwight Howard, he was very hungry on his blocks. He was like, okay, I'm going to go after a block and I'm not really going to be disciplined in the restricted area to really hold off the offense. I don't know. I think Wemby being the front runner right now is a little crazy.
So 2 things that the masses who see Rudy Gobert, they still hold him to that standard from when he got cooked against the Clippers. They still see him like that, when he's a much better defender. He's a much smarter defender than he was back then. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't ever remember when I was younger, like roasting a guy in David Robinson because he had a difficult time with Olajuwon. Like that never happened with us. We never talked about, you suck as a defender because you can't handle Jabbar. No.
Like, who can?
We never said that. That never happened with us, ever. So the fact that Rudy Gobert can't handle Joker, the fact that he has a difficult time with Joel Embiid, everybody has a difficult time.
Didn't Embiid score 70 on Wemby last year?
He scored 70 on him. 70. Even though Wemby did go for 33.
And Sengun gave him 45.
Yes,
Albert Şengün, rotational all-star player.
Yeah, he put 45 on him. So you can get roasted by these guys. But when
it's like getting Mo Williams a 50 ball, like that's insane.
The idea of the effect that Rudy Gobert has on his team's defense overall, and him, I'm watching him. I'm watching him with Chet. I'm watching him chase Chet out of the paint. I'm watching him chase Chet off the long ball line and recover. I'm watching him when he's playing against other teams, how he's calling out defense and affecting defenses. But because Joker is putting 35 on him, yo, you suck as a defender. Give me a break, man.
I think another thing that really like kind of hurt Rudy Gobert was in game 2 when they had their best defensive performance almost throughout the entire playoffs without him on the floor. So a lot of fans were just like, oh, is Rudy Gobert that important? Is Rudy Gobert that important? Rudy Gobert is the reason why the Minnesota Timberwolves are a top.
So let me compound that, because if I'm not mistaken, I saw Rudy Gobert get the defensive player of the year, and when he got it, Cat was right behind him in the room, and he said to Cat, well, the way y'all got busy, y'all don't need me anymore for defense. Cat looked at him like he just grew an extra head. Like, what? What are you talking about? That is just not true. Hell no.
Everybody knows out there getting cooked this season.
All season. By everybody. By Jokic, by Embiid, by Şengün.
I think it's just an experience thing, though. Like, it's like the way Nikola Jokic played against Wemby, I think was very impressive, just for the fact that he wasn't really giving Wemby the chance to block the shot. He was doing a lot of running floaters. He was playing on the perimeter. He was shielding Wemby off from being in the paint or being effective in the paint. And I think that that's with experience, in my opinion.
The biggest problem
Wemby's getting defensive player of the year boost because he's a better offensive player. Being honest.
Why would that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, explain that.
Yes.
Because people just see him more. They see him do more, and they see him if he gets a block or a rebound. Now he's running down the court. He's getting a pull-up head between and hitting a three-pointer. Whereas Rudy, it's a block shot, and then he goes down. He doesn't do anything on offense, and he goes back, gets another rebound. And for them, it's just like not doing anything. There's no real impact. That every time you talk about it, like, what's his real impact? He's not even blocking more shots than Wemby. So where is it coming from? So I think for a lot of non-writers, non-voters, I think Wemby just has more aura. I think Wemby gets more loud stats, and so therefore Wemby gets more love. That's just what it is. I honestly think the sleepers this year are Bam and Chet. I think Bam and Chet.
I like Bam. I think Bam deserves one.
I think
Wemby is not a better defender than Rudy, Bam, or AD.
Who? Oh, Wemby? You said Wemby's not.
Yeah, he's on this list.
He's not at all.
I think he can get to that level, but at this moment right now, I don't think he's the better defender.
The one thing that you just said, Swiper, is everything. It's the aura. It's like, how did Wemby come into the game? Wemby came into the game as the next one. So because he comes into the game as the next one, everything that he does is going to be compounded. So he finished second in defensive player of the year. Okay, so now he's going to be what we think he is. He's going to be the best defensive player in the game. So next year, when he finishes second in the league or third or top 5 in league MVP votes, the year after that, he's going to be the overwhelming favorite for league MVP. Why? Because we think he's that anyway. Instead of letting him become that just doesn't happen. I think Wemby is going to be a great player. I think he's going to be a great defender. But trying to turn him into that before he's going to be that, I think that's unfair.
Well, I think him finishing second, which is I even think I put him near second. But I think people putting him objectively in front of like Bam and AD, but AD, their defense was mid, so I get that. But like even Bam, like Bam just has more responsibility. I think Bam arguably has more responsibility in the league than arguably anybody else defensively because of what he has to do on a day-to-day basis.
More than Evan Mobley?
Well, yeah, because he had Jared Allen on the roster with him.
So.
More
Bam doesn't
Herb
have
Jones?
Who?
More than Herb Jones?
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, I mean, I think again, it's not just the big favor bias thing. I think because he has to switch, play zone, play drop, and play up all like throughout the game. And so I think for you to be able to build a defense around a player that can play zone at the drop of a hat at an elite level, play man and front and double, and hedge and drop without having another elite defender on the court outside of Jimmy Butler when he's locked in 100%.
Right.
I just think he's just if he had a this is where Khalil Ware comes into play. Say Khalil Ware is a good defender this year, y'all, and say Bam keeps shooting threes. I think Bam might have his most impressive season ever as a defender.
The all-pro that I think he's going to be this year. The all-pro that I think Bam is going to be this year. But I want to go back to what you just said, Swiper, when you just talked about him playing and drop and him switching. I mean, can't we say that about a bunch of bigs? Can't we say that about Anthony Davis? Can't we say that about Chet? Can't we say that about Evan Mobley? I understand your logic with Jared Allen, but Jared Allen is more of a rim protector than he is a one-on-one defender like that. So I think Evan Mobley, when we're talking about in drop coverage, when we're talking about switchability, right? When we're talking about being physical on the block as a one-on-one defender, I mean, I think that he does more for his crew in terms of a glass cleaner, in terms of a rim protector. I think he does more for his crew than just about anybody. I could get with your logic with Bam, but I feel like Evan Mobley is very much in that.
But the thing, Evan still has a positive rim deterrent on the floor with him.
Sure.
So like even in that institution, like just based on how their defense is predicated, he's always has assistants on the court with him somewhere. Bam doesn't have any other player that's like a viable paint protector on the roster, except the scheme. Now, the scheme is the paint protector, what they deploy.
Who does Herb Jones have?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, shout out, never mind.
Zion? I'm Mars, you asking me who Herb Jones has. Now, are you asking me who he has as a defender? Because he doesn't have anybody else. It's not CJ, right?
I don't respect Dyson Daniels.
I don't know what DeJounte Murray is.
And his what, 18 minutes?
I don't know what DeJounte Murray is going to look like.
He got DeJounte.
Right.
I think DeJounte can be
last year he didn't.
And also they had old boy last year. What you talking about? Junior. Nance.
Nance.
That's the help we're alluding to.
That's better than Bam.
Okay.
Nance is the better. Nance and Dyson Daniels are better defenders than everybody else in the Heat except for Butler.
Now both of them are gone. So it's like
now who do they have?
I'm saying they're about to be in the plan though. We know that though. They're going to be in the plan.
But I want to ask before we move on, who do you guys have as your defensive player of the year front runner for next year? I'm gonna start with Swiper and I'm gonna go around with Swiper. Would you pick for defensive player of the year right now?
Interesting.
If I want to help my agenda, I'm gonna say Wemby. But if I'm being as objective as possible, I might say Chet.
I want to help my cause. This is what I'm gonna go with. Swiper, can you take off the bias glasses for a second, brother?
I think it might be Chet, but I think Chet's also gonna have like an unlimited amount of POA defenders around him, so his job can be so much easier.
Sure.
I think Evan Mobley reintroduces himself. I think he stays healthy. I think that Cleveland Cavaliers team is going to be at the top of the league defensively, and it's going to be largely due to him. I think he's going to make them an even better transition team. He's going to be a better rim protector. I already think he's a top 3 defender when he's healthy in the game. I think he wins the defensive player of the year this season coming up.
Emto?
That's a good option with Mobley, but I'm gonna go Chet.
Mm-hmm. John D.
I'm gonna go Bam. I think Bam's responsibility, it's clearly one of the highest in the league, especially with the rookie coming in, Khalil Ware, just how much they're going to be able to impact together. I think Bam is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Now, I think he's going to win, but if I had to bet, I would probably put the money on Wemby just because.
Yeah,
that's the way we know that is going.
And Ox, you have a pick for Defensive Player of the Year?
Keegan Murray.
Fair.
There we go. So we've got
Ox, real quick, Mars. Ox, am I sleeping on Keegan Murray as a defender?
Yeah, for sure.
He's not a defensive player of the year, but he is.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Do I need to start?
Start to the year.
That's what I'm saying. Do I need to start watching? Do I need to start paying more attention to? Because that's how I find out about guys. That's how I found out about Herb Jones. I don't know nothing about Herb Jones a couple of years ago. And somebody turned me on to him. Was like, yo, you need to start watching Herb Jones. I'm a Herb Jones stan now, right? So I'm asking, do I need to start watching Keegan Murray more as a defender, Ox? Do I need to start paying more attention?
If I were you, I would, yeah.
And what am I? Because I know you're a Sacramento guy, but just for the sake of conversation, what about Keegan Murray puts him in that conversation as a defender? What are you watching when you watch Keegan Murray?
Just his ability to guard on the wing, and I think he's getting stronger. So it'll be less able to get bullied by guys that are bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's versatile, be able to guard. I think Keegan can guard the 2, 3, and 4 comfortably. And even switch on to certain point guards and be able to hold his own.
Couple of the toughest positions in the league. A couple of
I think Keegan definitely has that ability. On top of him being a really good shooter, I think Keegan Murray is gonna have a year.
Now, defensive player of the year as well, but I do like showing Keegan some love defensively. I think he is kind of slept on in that regard. But that we have everyone's predictions. We've got Chet, Mobley.
Who's the sleeper? Who's the sleeper? Caruso?
Yeah. Well, at some point, I don't know. I didn't think Anthony Davis would be a sleeper, but I mean, he hasn't won one, and no one picked him. So,
well, I think they're. Do you think their defense finishes top 8?
I don't think the Spurs will, but Wemby's the front runner.
Do you think the defense? The argument for Wemby is when they're on the court with their 5, they had the best defense in the league last year. That was why.
I think this year the Lakers will have an elite defense with AD on the floor.
Okay, so different than last year. It's possible.
Yes. Mm-hmm. A lot of that will be coaching, in my opinion. So I guess I'm buying the JJ Reddick stock a little bit. More so his assistants, Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks, but I'm buying the stock in the Lakers having a better defensive scheme. So I think AD, I guess, is a sleeper. But we've got Chet, Mobley, Bam, and Keegan Murray as the panel's picks for Defensive Player of the Year. Very, very interesting. Jalen King, member for 12 months, shout out to you, a whole year of memberships, said, looking back on Rudy Gobert in 30 years will be fun. I guess that means from an accolade perspective, him having the most Defensive Player of the Years of all time, tied with Ben Wallace and Dikembe. So
if he, now let me ask you this question, Mars. If he wins, in addition to having those accolades, and the Minnesota Timberwolves win the NBA championship, and they win it off the strength of him being who he is defensively, like how are we talking about Rudy?
We are the people who didn't see it.
We. And I already know about the people who didn't see it, because what they're going to do is they're going to go to the box score. And in addition to going to the box score, they're going to go off of narrative instead of actually
watching ball,
actually watching the game. So forget us. Like, how are they going to be talking about him 30 years from now? Like, let's talk about other people.
I think Rudy, especially with the championship, I think Rudy is catapulted into the discussions of the best defenders of all time. And that's not because I necessarily agree or disagree, but I just think when you look at how history erases flaws, like I've always said, time is like makeup in NBA discussions. You'll remove all the blemishes and you'll just see the finished product. So you'll see the 4 Defensive Player of the Years, you'll see the championship, you'll see the consistent elite defenses in the regular season. Plus, then with a chip, you'll be like, oh, it translated to the postseason. So I think Rudy will go down as one of the 10 best defenders ever if the Wolves win a chip with Rudy as the defensive anchor. Now, would I agree with that? I don't know. But I think just the consensus will be 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, did it in the playoffs, did it on multiple franchises. The impact was always there, especially in the regular season. He'll be above the likes of Draymond and Anthony Davis and whoever else you can conjure up from
Draymond.
But you see this 4% in the poll though.
Oh yeah, but I mean, a lot of that's voters fatigue. I think Rudy's not going to win another one because of voters fatigue, in my opinion. And also, he's also just not very liked right now. It's the same reason I think history will be more kind to Russell Westbrook. Not because he's going to win, but because you see 4 triple doubles in 5 years. I know everyone hates on him now, like, oh, you can't win with this. 20 years from now, they're just going to see this man was averaging 25, 11, and 11 or something. Like, that's what they're going to see. So I think history will be more kind to him. So I think that's how it will be with Rudy, especially if they win. But right now, he's just not going to get the flowers. I guess he does deserve some more flowers than he gets now. But I think the future will probably overrate him a little bit, especially if they win. So I guess it balances out. But with that being said, D3 wants to remind you, Ox, that racing is a sport.
Racing 100% is a sport. You're right. Racing is
car racing.
No, that's not a sport. But racing, what he said, racing,
like actual racing, Ox, like me against you on a track, like running one-on-one, a foot race.
Yep, that's a sport.
Why is car racing not a sport?
We've been through this too many times, Swiper. I can't.
I've never heard you say this. This is news to me.
Left.
Because they're in a mechanical device?
Left.
Because you're riding something else?
It's an event. It's an event. It's not a sport.
What about
is horse racing a sport? Is horse racing a sport?
Those jockeys, they're actually working up there. Like, that's not no joke. Controlling those horses.
But NASCAR drivers lose over 10 pounds per race, though.
I don't want to do this right now, y'all. I'm done.
Yeah, we really don't have time for this. Ox is standing on what he said. But now is the time where we can move a little bit away from the Lakers And I want to ask you guys how you feel about some of the statements that have been said regarding James Harden recently. We're going to start with a little bit of quote unquote tampering that happened. And I want to ask for you guys' opinion on this. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
When he was on Oklahoma City, I remember having this conversation when KD, James Harden, Russ got back from the Olympics from winning the gold. KD said, man, we are about to lose James, and it's not about the money. And I said, man, what are you talking about? He said, we're about to lose James because when we was over in the Olympics, Braun, D-Wade, all those guys were telling James, bro, you too nice, bro, to be coming off the bench. You're a number one option.
He wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong. And guess what? 2 months later, he turned down the contract extension. He's traded to the Rockets. And the rest is history. He went to the Rockets and did his damn thing. James Harden.
Okay.
You would think.
How do you guys feel about it?
Well, first of all, you would think that Kendrick Perkins was a little bit more knowledgeable about this situation because he played with Oklahoma City, but that's not what happened. Number one, he was offered the most lucrative contract that he had ever seen. So he needed some time to think about it. And it was only 1 day. That's number one. Number two, Oklahoma City trading him, they were able to save $30 million. At that time, Oklahoma City, I believe, was the 41st market in the NBA. So a small market.
30 teams? 30 teams? They were losing to G League teams?
21st. In terms of sports. No. In terms of sports, they were the 41st market. Not in the NBA. Okay. So to lose it for a small market to be able to hold on to that kind of money was a big deal. Now, for Kendrick Perkins to actually know, because he played in Oklahoma City, you would think that he would know that. James Harden is on record saying that he just needed some time to think about the contract extension because he had never seen that kind of money in his life. It wasn't that he wasn't going to extend him. It wasn't that he wasn't going to extend with Oklahoma City. It was just, he needed some time to process that. Like, this is a lot of money. I don't think that he had no intentions of being moved. Once he got moved, that was a move for Oklahoma City for the money. A lot of people will say, well, they picked Ibaka over him. No, it was cheaper. That's the way, and that's the way that they were going. It happened to work out because James Harden became what James Harden became in Houston, but it wasn't just about James Harden not being a number one. No, it was definitely a financial decision.
Okay, so Chill doesn't believe it. Swiper?
I don't.
You believe it?
I mean, there's probably some kernels of truth in that. I mean, KD obviously had a conversation with Perk and then had a conversation with Harden, and then KD heard his secondhand. I mean, Perk heard his secondhand. I just think it's funny that former role players that had minimal impact on certain teams are telling stories like this when Harden or Durant hasn't said anything about this publicly, probably for a reason. But yeah, cool story time, whatever else. But I mean, it's also well documented that they were cheap. Everybody knew that. It was reported then in 2013, 14, when all this stuff was happening in 12 and all this stuff was happening, that they were cheap. So yeah, that's probably true.
Now remember too, Swiper, we're talking about Oklahoma City team that, didn't they just move to Oklahoma City? It wasn't like they had been there for.
They moved in. So KD got there in 7. They moved in 8, right?
Okay, so they had been there what 5-6 years, so they just got there. And Oklahoma City is not the market that Seattle is in terms of TV, in terms of fan base, in terms of marketing. It's not the same. I've been to Oklahoma City. I was there when I believe it was 2009. I was there when Shaq was in Cleveland. There's not much to do in Oklahoma City in 2009. Not much at all. So when you go to a town like that, it's almost like starting over. It's almost like being an expansion franchise. So. I can understand them being a little hesitant to spend money. I can understand that.
And so
it still ain't nothing to do in OKC except for look at that Mickey Mantle statue.
Well, that's something. A statue is a statue. But do you believe what Kendrick's saying? Kendrick Perkins is saying? Do you believe what he's saying?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I could believe that. James Harden was dope, so it's like I can 100% see these guys saying, man, you like that, you know what I'm saying? You could be doing this, you could be doing that. I don't like Swiper saying that, like, oh, how dare a role player tell a story? Like, that's weird. But
I'm saying that, I just think it's funny that Kendrick again is telling business when KD and him already went at it about stuff like this before.
That's because KD's soft. That's why. So
hey man, you got time for Twitter, bro?
Okay, well, away from KD being soft, Ots, if you think the story could be true, do you think LeBron and I guess Wade was saying that for the sake of benefiting James Harden, or because they had fear of what OKC could have been?
I don't think Bron and D Wade was ducking nothing. Like I definitely don't think they were tampering or trying to get, I don't think so. But what I don't know, maybe so. You know what I'm saying?
They just met in the finals that year. They just met in the finals
and housed them dudes in 5 games, straight housed them, right? But with that being said, Ox, I mean, you do, like I told you before, there is fortune that's on your side. Derrick Rose tearing up his knee. Now we ain't got to deal with this dude as much as we did. Okay, Paul George breaks his leg. We ain't got to deal with this dude as much. Maybe we can get in James Harden ear and see if we could get him out of Oklahoma City and let him go somewhere else. And maybe we might not have to worry about them as much. I mean, is that ridiculous to think?
No, I mean, I don't put anything past anybody. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I think that's just hoop talk. I think we in the gym and like we seeing, man, this young boy got game, and we just talking about it. I think that's just how, that's how I talk, that's hoop talk. We just talking about how nice we think he is. And, that's all. Sure. I think if anything, because how I felt back in those days, I was thinking that James Harden should have been starting at the PG, Russ at the 2. You know what I mean? So
I was Russ's position when he was in college. He got converted to 1. Sure.
So that's what I was thinking back in those days. So it could have been something like that. They could have just been like, man, you need to be featured more or something. Maybe I don't know if they
was that someone saying Ox? Yes. UCLA with him?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and then
Drew was there too. I think no,
Drew was the next.
Drew and Malcolm Lee, they came the next year.
They were later.
I think, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the story is false, but I don't know if they were trying to. You never know. It's just how it goes. It's just a story. So I can't call it, but I don't think it was for them to duck James Harden. Like, nah, right. I don't think D Wade's ducking James Harden at all.
John D, how about you? What do you think about it?
I think them not paying him is really why he left. I mean, and then the LeBron James and D Wade saying what they said, I don't think it helped. Like, really, James Harden hearing that, be like, oh, okay, I could be a number 1. There's a lot of people backing me up on that. I believe I could be a number 1 on a good team. Now LeBron and D Wade are backing me up. Why not try it out? Why not go? But like, I don't think we could read too much in the stories on that end either.
Yo, they're saying in the chat that D-Wade wasn't even on that team.
He wasn't on the 2012 Olympic team. That's why I was going to bring up is Kendrick Perkins just capping? Because he wasn't on the 2012 Olympic team.
Did he say D-Wade or did he say Bron?
He said Bron and Wade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I was going to follow that off after MTEL went, but it's come up now. But MTEL, how do you feel about the story and the D-Wade thing? Does that change your opinion on it?
I mean, Kendrick is an interesting person. I feel like he just be trying to push narratives for real. But
he's never pushed narrative.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Never. Yeah. Right. Not even with Yoki. Right.
Yeah.
Something about white boys. I can't remember.
Oh, that's why you said that's.
Yeah. I was like,
I forgot. Okay. Yeah, I'm tripping. That's right.
But yeah, I would say honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually was a part of it. I don't know if necessarily D Wade, but other people probably was telling them that, and I do think the money and the idea that he should have a bigger role probably played a part in that. Even though I feel like on that team, he was kind of like the man Ginobili of the team in the sense that guy come off the bench, he really low-key was playing starter minutes if I remember right back then. So I mean, I didn't really think he had a small role, but I don't know. I think both kind of played a part.
I thought he had a pretty big role, but panel consensus seems to be Kendrick Perkins just like talking. That seems to be the consensus. So
I've never seen someone objectively accuse a company or a market of racism, bring up false numbers, and then not have to back it down at all. I've never seen that happen in my life. I worked in politics for years now. I've never seen it. Chill, I've never seen it. I've never seen you be able to outright say 80% and the number it was indeed not 80%, and then it's just like talk about it.
And you stand on it. And
it's nothing. It's just
nobody challenges it. Nobody. It just goes away.
No apology issued. I shouldn't have said nothing. Just walked away.
Huh?
So are you saying racism doesn't exist in sports?
Oh yeah, I mean it's obviously does not. Couldn't. I thought that was solved with Muhammad Ali. George Fraser.
Before we move on, shout out to Wader for becoming a member. Welcome to the show. And Kent Lipscomb Jr. said Wemby top 10 and Tim Duncan top 5. And then he followed that up by saying Elaine and Shelly Ann better. I agree with that second part for sure. So shout out to Elaine and Shelly Ann. But sticking with the theme of James Harden, Gilbert Arenas had some words about James Harden. And no, it's not in the direction you may think. Before
what up, Chill Gil? What up, brother?
You know you watch the show. Already groaning.
Like, Ox, man. He got stuff he with, and he got stuff he don't want to hear.
It might make sense.
You know you watch the show.
Sense.
What's up, brother?
Yeah. So shout out to Gilbert Arenas for his comments. I want to ask you guys for your opinion on what he's about to say, and do you agree or disagree? Once again, let me know if you guys can hear this.
Guard James Harden in the playoffs.
Why?
Because his game is the same as in regular season. So if I know, all right, he's gonna do the pick and roll, I can find his combo. So now what ends up happening is I take the playbook and I'm looking at it, right? And
as soon as he goes tween,
yep,
go double team his ass.
Yep. And then I was like, okay.
That's what he thought about Pat Bev. Now I'm catching that motherfucker like this. Do it to me all year. Get back.
Right. So what ends up happening is just over time, I'm letting his bad habits beat him. I can't beat him. His bad habits, which means if he gets comfortable doing something, he's gonna keep doing it. Or he hit 2 threes in a row, he's gonna come down, take 2 heat checks, right? Heat checks he takes in the first quarter, he still do it in the last 3 minutes of the game, right? If he loses the ball, he don't hustle back, right? So if he don't hustle back, he just looks at the ref, boom. So 2 bad shots, 2 turnovers, he didn't get back on, so he done gave up 4 points on some easy stuff. That's what's beating James Harden. It's
Now I know some people don't like a lot of the things Gil says, but was he cooking on his little take on James Harden and why he may or may not struggle in the postseason? I'm gonna start with Ox because Ox is the most vocal James Harden hater.
Well, I don't like either one of them dudes, so it's like I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb, but I'm still trying to figure out what is he talking about. Like he just said a whole lot of nothing. Like, is he saying basically nobody stops James Harden? He just stops himself in the playoffs? That's what he's saying?
I think what he was.
Okay.
James Harden's bad habits stop him more than defense stops him, but the defense plans for his bad habits.
I can agree with that. That's a fair take from Gil. That's a fair take from Gil. I'm not mad at that at all. I think James Harden's one of those guys like how you seen like how can you guard him? They start trying to guard him from behind. So like that's definitely a fair take from Gil. No doubt.
Is it Big Ox? Is it like a thief? Like I know you're gonna rob this place, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait for you to do it. I'm gonna let you rob the place like once or twice because I know you ain't that smart. And you're gonna come back with the same plan. I'm gonna keep putting this same amount of money in here, and I know you're gonna come back and you're gonna rob it again. So I know at some point you're gonna come back and do it again. So I'm just gonna set you up, and this is eventually gonna be your downfall. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
But with that being said, can we agree? Or straighten me out. Can we agree that all players have bad habits and just James Harden's bad habits get exploited a little bit more? Because there's plenty of guys whose game just translates to the playoffs. KD's games translates to the playoffs. He's a bucket getter. So KD's game, when you're talking about him getting to the mid-range, cracking the long ball, playing in transition, that translates to the playoffs, but it also him being the one-on-one player he is. So when the game slows down, you still can't slow him down. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Hakeem Olajuwon, guys like that, when I think about their game translating from the regular season to the playoffs, they still have bad habits where Bryant might shoot shots that aren't necessary. But if you dependent on him shooting continuous shots that aren't necessary, that's where the player growth comes in. So I mean, I do think that on some level Gil was cooking, but all players have bad habits. All of them do.
I want to say honestly, rare W for Gilbert. I'm not gonna lie. At first, he was chatting at first. I didn't know what he was talking about at first. I just heard yep. But at the end, the Tennessee part, I do think that is honestly a good take for once.
John D.
I think he had a point just by saying like when things are going Harden's way, you can tell on the court, like his energy drops, he starts getting a little lazy on defense. So by him saying that you kind of let Harden beat himself, I think he has a valid point to that because his body language on the floor, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Swiper. This might be a clean sweep of agreeing with Gilbert Arenas if Swiper also agrees. So do you agree with what Gil had to say?
I think there are kernels of truth in what Gil said.
We'll take it, Gil. You have a 100% approval rating from the panel. There you go. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas. 100% panel approval rating. I have a feeling that will never happen again. So
shout out to you in the chat. To you. You know who you are. No, he knows who he is. I'm not gonna say his name. He just wanted a little attention, but he been on his knees for 2 hours now, begging for it. You know that be on their knees begging for it. Like, okay, I see you.
Begging for what?
It's
attention, begging,
attention, Swiper.
Tongue all out, and everything. Swiper just begging for it.
Begging for attention.
Okay,
I'm kidding. Swiper, they're begging for attention. Stay focused, brother.
Yeah, attention.
Stay focused, brother.
The resident Harden stan of the panel, Mo, said Hargoat would cook Gil. I do think that's true. I don't think Gilbert Arenas could guard him. So, but
it's Gilbert Arenas' 4 year. I'll give Gil probably a 3-4 year stretch where he was awesome. Is that 4 year stretch? I'll give him 4, maybe 5 years tops. Is that enough?
Is that 04 to 07?
Okay, yeah, it's like 05 to like 07, I think.
Like in 09, like he got into the nonsense, but he I thought he was elite. He was on his way to being, he was still elite, I feel like, in that time. Is that enough time for him to be talked about in the same regard as the guards like Chauncey Billups and Steve Nash? During that time. That's what I'm talking about, because he thinks that he's that nice during that era.
You can have the conversation that those 3 years, Gilbert Arenas was one of the 3-5 best point guards in the game.
Sure.
Yes. But on the all-time standing, no, because the longevity just wasn't there, in my opinion.
Okay.
But at that time, like 05, 06, 07, if someone was like, Gil's a top 3-point guard in the game, I don't think that's a crazy take.
Point guard? Or guard?
Yeah, he played the
league.
Yeah, I mean, but Gil was probably right there for a while. He was right below Kobe for a lot of people. And then he was right near T-Mac, like Houston T-Mac. Gil was loved. Like he was
not Orlando T-Mac. Ox, relax, chill out.
No T-Mac,
chill out, right? Chill out. Ox.
maybe Atlanta T-Mac.
No,
maybe Spurs T-Mac.
I don't. And then again, you're talking about mostly kids. Most kids would say that Gilbert was better than Chauncey pretty outright.
But do you think he was better than Chauncey?
Yeah, I think Chauncey did not have the scoring chops. Chauncey was funny though. Chauncey was like a stabilizer. He never had to go crazy as a scorer, but you also weren't scoring on him.
Neither did Gil, to be honest with you, though, Swiper, because he played with Caron Butler. That's a 20-a-game guy. Or Antoine Jameson, that's a 20-a-game guy. I'm on record saying Gil should have been a much better distributor than he was, but he was definitely more of a scorer, which made him more selfish, which would explain why they didn't win as much, because it wasn't like he was playing with bums. Antoine Jameson was awesome as a bucket getter. So was Caron Butler. I think Caron Butler actually made the All-Star team. For that guy to not be a better distributor than he was running with those guys, that says a lot about his game and what type of league guard he was.
But Gil was
a hell of a scorer, hell of a shot chucker. He was definitely a hell of a scorer. He could fill it up, no doubt about it. Like we can't sit here and act like Gil wasn't getting buckets. He was.
Oh, he was definitely that.
He was doing that.
That's why when anybody on the show,
I don't think he's as far as like who's a better player though. I gotta go with Chauncey.
In the playoffs, Chauncey was better. In regular season play, Gil was a clearly better player, but it just, like I said, Chauncey operated. I'll say it. Chauncey operated at his floor every game, every single game. Chauncey operated at his floor. That's why he was so dominant. Like he just.
And he also knew, Swiper, he also knew, like, for example, running with KG, like, I got to get KG involved in the game. And I know that I have to get him involved in order for us to have a chance to win. Otherwise, we're not going to have a chance to win. It's not just going to be, I can get buckets, because Chauncey Billups has proven that he can score the basketball, because he scored the basketball. But he knew that my job was to get KG going. Once I get KG going, and then I'll get myself going. He always
in 2005-06, Chauncey Billups finished 5th in the MVP race. That year, that MVP race was
2005.
Nash, Dirk, Bron, Kobe with a 4 above him.
So in that season, he averaged 18.5 points per game, 8.6 damn assists, 3 rebounds. He averaged a steal, didn't average a block, wasn't a shot blocker, but he averaged 40% from 2. He averaged 43% from 3 on 5 attempts a game.
This is Chauncey we're talking about.
This is Chauncey Billups.
Sure, absolutely.
And then that year, he made second team all defense. And the only reason he didn't make first team because Jason Kidd and Kobe Bryant were on the team.
Right.
So He was crazy. Like Chauncey was crazy. But he wasn't celebrated like Gilbert Arenas in the regular season. I can tell you that.
So let's get the panel opinion. Ox has already said he's taking Chauncey. John D, Chauncey or Gil?
I'm gonna say Chauncey Billups.
Man, that's just, it feels like revisionist history. And Ox, I think you're right, but you know what I'm talking about. We're the same age. We didn't hold Chauncey to the same degree as Arenas at that point.
I did 100%.
Yeah, but Ox be loving his mid players. So yeah.
I don't think he's tripping.
Chauncey was not mid.
He wasn't. He was great.
I can't make one joke. Whatever.
I
can't make one joke.
And then that year, that Western Conference final year with Melo, by the way, 19.5 points per game, 5.6 assists, 3 rebounds, and Chauncey that same season he shot he was at.
They had almost the same crew. Take out Iverson and put in Chauncey. They was in the West Finals.
At this point, like to me, Chauncey was like the second point guard behind Jason Kidd. At this point, like I was a huge Chauncey Billups fan. I love Chauncey Billups.
Considering what he was doing for that stretch with the Detroit Pistons and how good they were, and that was largely due to Chauncey. I mean, he was the head of that
best player on this team, but he was not heralded. He was not heralded as the best player on this team. For
I mean, you can make I think you can make an argument for Ben Wallace. I do. I think you can make an
people said she was better than Chauncey.
Yeah, I think you can make an argument.
Was you one of them?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just trying to see where you stood.
Now remember, they had 5 players make the All-Star game in 07.
It was 06, I think. Or 06 or 07. It was one of those years, yeah.
5 of them. And they all got in the court at once when the All-Star game too. Remember, Jill? So that was the problem with them. Like nobody thought he stood that much like above the rest of his teammates. So people just didn't think he was like that much better than like Rip and Rasheed, and they knew he was better than Tayshaun and Penn. So I just think that like Chauncey never got the full love. If Chauncey, by the way, y'all, I just want to be clear about this. Y'all know the last time the Nuggets had 2 All-Stars on the roster was Carmelo and Chauncey in 09. It's been that long. That's stupid, Ox. Even y'all had Sabonis and Fox, right? Well, 2 years.
Jamal Murray's never mind.
Well, I know, I get it. I'm cool, but I'm just saying that's way too long. Even the Hawks had 4 in 2015-16. So it's no. Kyle Korver made that team. Respect. I think some of this is Chauncey Billups. If he was here right now, chill. If Apex Chauncey Billups was here right now, he might be considered a top 5-6 point guard in the league, because right now you have Lucas, Steph, and whatever Shea or Lucas, Shea, Steph. But I'm saying he wouldn't be that far from.
Well, you got to add the element of what he was doing back then. He's doing more of that.
43% from 3 on 5 in 2006.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what I want you to think about: 1, the game is more wide open today. Chauncey Billups was a pull-up long ball shooter.
Damn,
he did that. He definitely did that with the Detroit Pistons. So if he's playing with I don't know. Let's say he's playing with a playoff team like Philly. All right, let's take Maxey off there and let's put Chauncey Billups on that crew with Joel Embiid, and he's a stop and pop long ball shooter. How much better is he? How much better is Chauncey Billups getting to the rim?
And again, you're not scoring on Chauncey Billups.
Yes, because he's a defender on top of that. I would not argue. I would not ask. I would not. I don't think it's ridiculous, Moss, to think that Chauncey Billups could be in the conversation. If Jalen Brunson is in the conversation as a top 5 point guard, 100% Chauncey Billups is in there, because I don't think Jalen Brunson is that much better. If he is even better in today's game, because again, Chauncey Billups is doing more of what he did back then. He's more of a pull-up shooter. He's more of a pull-up long ball shooter. The game is faster. He's a better distributor. So all of that stuff he was doing back then, he's doing it. He's doing it today, and he's elite on the other side of the basketball. I think we have a way different conversation.
There's people that are watching this right now that think you're tripping. Like Tyrese Maxey's better than Chauncey Billups. I guarantee.
So he's not. So he's not. I just want to clarify. He's not. Tyrese Maxey isn't better than Chauncey.
Not close, Mars.
I'm not going to go as I'm not going to go as far as say it's not close, but I think Maxey is taking advantage of the way the game is today.
And if we upped his volume, chill. If we upped his volume to right now, Chauncey could be about a 24.5 points per game scorer.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, because again, Mars, we're talking about Maxey, who his game is predicated on the game today, how fast it is, the athlete that he is, getting downhill. You yourself aren't in love with his ability to shot create. You don't love that. A lot of the stuff that he does is predicated on the game being wide open, pick and roll and getting downhill off of Joel Embiid. I'm thinking about Chauncey Billups operating with Joel Embiid in the mid post or at the 24-foot line. How much better he would be, especially when the game slows down. And Chauncey Billups' ability to shot create, my goodness, he would be fantastic today.
I mean, how many players per 100, Mars, right now are averaging 28 per 100, 13 assists, and shooting over 41% from three? Maybe
100. I could look.
13 assists is the number. The scoring is not high, but
2000.
You're not gonna find many. It's gonna be like Halliburton,
right?
Luka,
Shea, not even Shea.
I don't think Steph is getting.
Well, let me ask you this. So, what is 2000? Is it 2005? Is it 2000?
Jokic is up there, unironically.
Right.
The only players who averaged 13 assists or more per 100 possessions this year were the two Pacers point guards.
Pacers?
Yeah.
Like
both of them. TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh,
both.
Right.
Do that what you will. Both.
This is what I'm asking. What league guards today? When I think about Chauncey Billups, what league guards today? If I'm putting Chauncey Billups, the question I want to ask you guys, I'm sorry, is Chauncey Billups in 2005, 2006. Is that the best Chauncey Billups? What is the best version of Chauncey Billups?
Well, that or 9. That or 9.
I'd say 06 is probably the best he was. Single season.
Now let me ask you this, Miles. I don't want to go with a single season. Can I get a stretch from Chauncey Billups, the best version of him? Are we going 04 to 09? Are we going 06 to 09? Where are we with Chauncey Billups in terms of the best version of him?
Probably 2004 to, I would say, maybe 2009, 2000.
Okay,
so
2000,
right before he goes to Denver.
So that
I'm saying like 05 to 08 as well.
So we're looking at about a 5-year stretch. I want you to take that Chauncey Billups. I want you to put him in today's game on more volume. What kind of player is he in today's game? How does he match up with De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray, John Morant, Trae Young, Luka, Steph Curry, Darius Garland? How does he match up with these guys? Where is he amongst those guys?
Well, he took a lot of jumpers and he didn't get to the rim that much. So he'd have to be one of the best shooters in the league. And he took a lot of mid-range jumpers, which would probably have to turn into threes.
Is he better than Damian Lillard in today's game?
Yeah. It's last year, yeah. Last year, Dame, yeah. Not previous when he averaged 32 on 65 or whatever it was.
Damn. I don't know.
I'm just a host.
You don't like that? You don't like that, John?
I don't know, man. I think Chauncey Billups definitely does translate to today's game, but to say he would be better than I could hear Damian Lillard this year, but Damian Lillard previous years he's averaging 30 points. I don't know. Like I could give Chauncey Billups the end of the nod defensively, but as a shooter, I think Dame has it. As an overall scorer, I think Dame has it. I don't know. I would just
not a better passer, not a better defender, not a better defensive playmaker, right?
Nah. I think Dame got it.
Not a better rebounder either.
In this day and age, I think
be quiet, Mark. Ending possessions is important.
I ain't say anything. I did a body language. Yeah, I ain't say anything.
I'm looking it up right now on StatHead. Y'all know I like to do these graphs. Hold on, let me see.
Mm-hmm. You can go do that while you do that. Wader sent a super chat saying I have Mikal Bridges coming back into Defensive Player of the Year talks. In my opinion, especially if the Knicks do better than they did last year.
He never should
have.
Is
Bridges the best defensive player on his team?
No, not even close.
It's OG Anunoby.
It is definitely close, but it's OG for sure.
He's not in OG conversation.
I stand to Swapper. It's not close.
You think it's that far of a gap, Mars? Because when I think about the versatility, I can dig OG Anunoby because he's bigger. When I say bigger, I mean he's got a little bit more weight to him.
He weighs more, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more weight to him. So sure, okay, he could cover a bigger three. He could cover a stretch four, right? He can do that. But when I think about Mikal Bridges as an on-ball defender, I mean, I don't think OG Anunoby is a better on-ball defender than Mikal Bridges. I think Mikal Bridges is better in the passing lane. I definitely think he's better in transition. I won't argue that. Now, I will give you OG Anunoby because he's a little bit bigger. I'll give you him in the post. But on the perimeter, I'm not sure that I'm. That's why I was cool to let OG walk. For that reason right there, I was cool to let him go.
See, I was never cool to let OG walk. I mean, we debated about that enough. Yes. I don't want to get too deep into it. But I think OG is definitely. I think OG is the better defender, but it's not like how Swiper just made it sound.
Yeah, I got OG also, but Swiper got the numbers.
Last year, last year, Dame. I'm trying to center this out. My bad.
There you go.
Last year, Dame versus peak Chauncey.
Right. 24, 19.
Dame was the better rebounder.
Facts. Dame was the better rebounder. What are we talking about?
One year.
No, just for that alone, man. Give me Dame.
But look at the BPM and Borp.
Now, what, Mars? Now, can we put some context on that? If I'm not mistaken, Chauncey Billups. Now, what year was that?
That was the 6th to 5th MVP voting year.
Okay, that was the 05-06 season.
Yes.
Okay, so Ben Wallace was gone, so he didn't have that glass cleaner on his crew. He didn't. No, actually, Ben Wallace was there.
Ben Wallace was there.
Yeah, Ben Wallace is there. So Mars, Chauncey. Damian Lillard is not playing. Okay. He's not playing with Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace. He ain't playing with glass cleaners like that.
You got Giannis and Bobby Portis.
So it's not many. It's not many. Bobby Portis is not the rebounder that Rasheed Wallace was. No, he is not. Absolutely,
he getting 10 of them, I think.
He ain't the rebounder that Rasheed Wallace was. So it's not a lot of rebounds to go around. Not.
Do you remember this roster full? It was Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Darko Milicic, old Antonio McDyess, by the way, Lindsey Hunter, Amir Johnson, Richard Hamilton was there still, and Carlos Arroyo. Shout out Carlos Arroyo, backup point guard, Mr.
That was rookie Amir Johnson, right? Like straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amir Johnson.
When was the Vernon Maxwell of the Jason Maxiell? That's right, Jason Maxiell. He was one of my favorite players at the
time. But yeah, give me Dame. But I feel like everyone agreed with Gil. So I think I have to come up with something that people are probably going to disagree with Gil on, because we can't be showing Gil too much love. So I'm going to ask you guys how you feel about this statement that Gil made, and if he's going to get double 100% approval ratings. Let me know if you can hear this.
Champs, obviously Boston. You had some things to say about Boston.
They were the better team, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did they play championship basketball? No. They had an advantage. You're talking about they were bigger than Dallas. Dallas didn't play the defense that could have stopped them. And they spent 90% of the time just chucking threes. Mm-hmm. Horrible threes, too. Like Tatum's my dude. Mm-hmm. And he was frustrating the shit out of me. Kimber, was it
Max Kleber?
Max Kleber. Yeah. You taking sidestep jumpers against him? Oh my God. That's what that is, a 1 full flat if I seen one. Like, you got one dude, you get him to take a side. Like, if you're gonna take the side jumper, do it on a smaller guy. Don't get the big dude on you to shoot the same three. He can challenge his shot. It was just little things that in the basketball world, it just didn't make sense.
Talk about this.
Okay.
Well,
he had 100% approval rating last time. Mtel, do you approve of Gil's message?
Hey man, I know Chill ain't gonna like this, but I kind of agree. I don't really think the Celtics necessarily played like a style of basketball that looked like, all right, championship team. I'm just talking about the finals, not the whole playoffs. I feel like in general, Celtics just was sleepwalking, but I feel like they didn't really respect the Mavs like that when they were playing them. So they just kind of, I feel like one of them games, they just threw it away just to play at home. I really do feel that way. A lot of people think it was closer. I don't think it was that close. I think they were just playing with them too, like they was doing everybody in the East. That's my personal opinion.
Sure.
Well, to play championship style basketball, they won playing this way. It's not like they started playing that way in the playoffs. They've been playing that way the entire season. I think they led the league in shooting the long ball. Nobody else shot the long ball more than them. They didn't just start doing that in the playoffs. They did that all year long, and it got them the best record in the NBA, and they went through the playoffs still doing that. Now, you kind of have to accept when you're shooting the long ball that some nights it's going to go in, some nights it's not. Not everybody is Steph Curry, unfortunately. Not everybody is Klay Thompson. Now, the idea that Jayson Tatum frustrated him, to be honest with you, Gil, I can't argue that, because there's plenty of times where I wanted to choke him. I'm like, yo, don't let this dude off the hook. And you let him off the hook with a sidestep 22-footer when I just saw you get to the rim and dunk the ball. When I just saw you get to the mid, I just saw you do that. When you letting guys off the hook with bad shots, I can't argue that part. But the idea of them not playing championship basketball, I disagree with that.
I think I would agree with saying Jayson Tatum wasn't playing the level of championship basketball that he could have played, but as a team, I think that's incorrect. I mean, championship level basketball, in my opinion, is Jaylen Brown going up to Joe Mazzulla and saying, if they take Luka out, take me out. But if he's on the floor, I'm on the floor. I think championship level play is Sam Hauser coming in and playing defense, Xavier Tillman in his limited minutes playing solid defense and sticking to the way they've been playing all season. Like Chill said, this is not something that they just started doing in the finals. This is the way they've been winning throughout the entire regular season. Mind you, they were head and shoulders better than every other team in the NBA by playing the way that they were. So I think it's championship basketball. I think Tatum was not playing the championship level that we know he can, but as a team, I think it was championship basketball.
Swiper seems to have fallen asleep in the Celtics, so I feel like I have to ask Swiper: was Gil cooking, or do the Celtics play championship level basketball?
They played as good as they needed to get the job done.
I agree.
Okay, was the way they played sustainable for sustained championship success?
If they played a better run and a better team, they would not have been able to win the championship at that level. But they played as well as they needed to in order to secure a championship, going 16-2. If I also had to play versus Chill, so I had to run. If I had to run run the gauntlet, for instance, okay, John D, Ox, Mars, and Chill had his left hand cut off in a 1-on-1 game to 6. Mars, I blindfolded you so you could not see the basket, and we played a 1-on-1 game to 11. And then Ox, you had to wear concrete shoes.
And ain't nothing you could do. So
in a sprint, in a sprint, then yes, I imagine I would have to run and shoot and play just well enough to beat you all, and I would try not to embarrass you. And then I had to play John D in the NBA Finals, and John D was born 3 days ago and has no use of his arms and legs. So yeah, in a situation like that, I could dominate. Now, if you play versus a higher level of competition, then yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
So are we talking about are we talking about a team that maybe just played to the level of competition and just was good enough to beat them?
Yeah, they were just good enough. They didn't play anybody, but that's okay. That's not their fault. If they played, go ahead.
So if that's true, Swiper, then why weren't the series that they played in? Why weren't they closer? I mean, if they played down to the competition, why didn't we get 6-7 game series? Why were they just walking by everybody in 5 games and 4 and 5 games? If that's the case,
well, I think if Jimmy Butler was there, it might have been a little bit different, a little bit tougher. And I say different, a little bit tougher. I think if they had to play versus Jared Allen at all, it might have been a little tougher. If they had to play Donovan Mitchell for the last 2 games, it might have been a little bit tougher. Halliburton, apparently the Pacers were in the Eastern Conference Finals. I keep forgetting about this. If Halliburton or another team not named the Pacers were there, might have been a little bit tougher. If Jalen Brunson hadn't broke his hand, might have been a little bit tougher. If they played versus the team not named the Mavericks, might have been a little bit tougher. But like I said, they did what they had to do.
Do they win though? Even if those guys are still there, do they win? Even if the road is a little bit now, sure, the road wasn't as tough because you had some injuries. That's part of it. I get that part. But all right, there's less potholes in the road. But does that mean that I'm still not getting to the destination?
I don't know. I don't like to play hypotheticals. Right. I just go based on what we see.
To answer the question for me, I can't say that a championship team didn't play championship level basketball. I think that's crazy. Yeah. But other than that, though, I mean, I feel like that every time I watch an NBA basketball game for every team, not just Jayson Tatum. I feel like that every time I watch NBA. It's like I want to strangle everybody.
How many times have you watched your Kings, and if De'Aaron Fox was standing right in front of you, you put him in a sleeper hole?
Do you know how many games I turn off? Too? Do you know how many times, like, and that's not like every team. It's like, you know how many times I haven't made it through the first half of NBA basketball game because I can't watch this shit.
You just shut it down.
This is terrible. It's terrible. Like that's why I like it when it's college time. I can watch college games. Women's college basketball is nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just be like, man, I'm not watching this shit.
If there's one take that Ox says that I actually truly agree on, like every time I hear him say it, the style of play sometimes when you watch the NBA, where when teams just get into a shoot off of I'm just gonna try to 3-point shoot versus you. Like when you get to that point of the game, I'm not gonna lie, that bores me too.
You mean like the world champion Celtics who did that all year long last season?
You know what's funny? I don't feel like I don't know. Sometimes when I watch the Celtics, I actually don't feel that way. That's just I'm gonna just try to out 3-point shoot you, even though I know they did literally shoot the most threes. Sometimes I feel like their game plan is a little bit more respectable, but I do feel where I was coming from.
So what teams annoy you the most? Let's put them on blast. What team is the worst to watch for you?
The Celtics and the Warriors.
Damn. I don't even think the Warriors lead the league in threes. Damn.
They
were fourth this year.
Anytime I just see guys passing up layups to shoot contested threes.
That makes me nuts, Ox. I can't handle that. I can't handle that, Ox. When the lane is wide open and you basically got a red carpet to the basket, and you know what? I'd rather take a 24-footer with a hand in my face than get right to the rim when there's no rim protection.
But 3 is more than 2.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Merry Christmas, Swapper.
Brother.
Bye.
All right, Swapper. My bad.
I'm right there.
That was in zoned out.
Yeah, I saved this segment for Swiper's absence because I knew he was gonna start hating. So you're welcome, Cho. A certain Tim McMahon said something about Jayson Tatum, and I didn't want Swiper to hear it. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it. Let me know how you guys feel about this.
But he's not a top 5 player in the league. He's not a first tier superstar. He just isn't.
Well, listen, this was arguably the greatest collection of talent we've ever seen. The only comparison for it, really, in my opinion, is the Dream Team. And you can make debates about which one's better. So some people will be on different sides of it. That's fine. The point is, if you have 12 of the best players on the planet on the team, some of them are not going to play. And if it was Devin Booker instead of Jayson Tatum, okay, there'd be people who'd be mad about that. But Devin Booker's also awesome. Yeah, same with Anthony Edwards. Same with all these other guys.
Yeah, the difference is he's not coming off of another first-team All-NBA season and a championship, but that doesn't mean it was a bad decision. Jayson Tatum's awesome, but he's not a top 5 player.
Okay, so with all of that being said,
right.
Is he cooking? I'm gonna ask Chill because Chill is the resident Jayson Tatum stan. Is he cooking saying Jayson Tatum isn't a tier 1 superstar and isn't a top 5 player in the league?
I think it's a little unfair to have him on a team like this where he's on this team and there are some people who are going to play ahead of you with a different philosophy, as opposed to would we be having this conversation if the Olympics weren't going on, right? Because when the Olympics weren't going on, I don't think this wasn't a conversation. He was a top tier player. He is, to my point, he's the only first team All NBA performer on the Olympic team. So the question is if that's true, which it is, why wasn't he playing more? Why didn't he get more opportunities to show how good he is? Well, it's because you playing on Team USA, and sure, there's some things that we have to sacrifice. With us having to sacrifice this sort of stuff, I'm going to have to take a lesser role. I don't think that lessened John Stockton playing on Team USA where there were some games where he didn't play. There were some games that Magic didn't play. Does that mean that lessened Magic as a superstar or first-tier player had he still been in the league? No, it doesn't. He still was awesome, just like Jayson Tatum was still awesome. It wasn't like everybody on that crew was just completely head and shoulders better than him. There were people who were telling me Joel Embiid shouldn't even been on his team. Joel Embiid, in all intents and purposes, is one of those guys that some people think he's a top 3 player in the game. So the fact that he was playing the way he was playing, there's some people who were saying, Joel Embiid shouldn't be on his team. But meanwhile, Jayson Tatum, who, to your point, Mars, they kept the theme of him not playing against Serbia. They kept that theme. And now he's not a top tier player off the strength that he wasn't the best player on this team, even though he should have been playing more. And it was obvious that he should have been playing more, even though his coach even said that. I feel like an idiot benching him. So, no, I don't think that he's cooking. Jayson Tatum definitely is a top tier player. He's shown throughout the course of the season, and I don't want to be long-winded here, but he's shown throughout the course of the season. He's the most consistent player on the Boston Celtics, who were the best team in the league. He was the best scorer on this team which was the best team in the league. He was their best rebounder, which was the best team in the league. He was their leading scorer in the playoffs, which is the world champions. He's the leading rebounder on the world champions, and he was their leading distributor on the world champions. So for a guy who consistently played like that, not just throughout this season, but which led up to this season, over the years, to say he's not a top-tier player, I just think that's so disingenuous and unfair, because you wouldn't say that about you wouldn't say that about other guys who haven't done what he did.
Thank you.
I think after the best 4 players in the league, I think Jayson Tatum could be the number 5, because when I look at my top 5, the top 4 is Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Embiid. After that,
is that in order?
Yes. I think Jayson Tatum has the ability to be that 5th. I think it doesn't help him how he shot in the playoffs, because when we talk about Jayson Tatum, I think the only thing that people have an issue with is the jump shot is not falling. You can still say he was playmaking at a solid level. You can still say he was rebounding, defending, being the leader of that team. And I think it's kind of blown out of proportion. I don't think you want to take a playoff run and be like where his shot was not falling and be like, yeah, he's not a top 5 player anymore, or he's not a superstar level player, when there's not a lot of players that you can take and replace Jayson Tatum with, and the Celtics still do the same thing. Jayson Tatum was the playmaker on that squad. He was the versatile defender. You could throw him on Daniel Gafford so they can switch and he can play on Luka. I think there was a lot of things that Jayson Tatum brought that still make him top 5 player-esque when the jump shot just wasn't falling. Because when we look at, and I hate when people say Jaylen Brown was the number 1 on that team. If you look at the coverages that Jaylen Brown was getting versus Jayson Tatum, every time Jayson Tatum had a step on his defender, there were 2 to 3 defenders with all their attention on him. And it made the offense a lot easier for the Celtics. I think
John, let me ask you a question really quickly. I want you to keep going. What do you think when they have a game? What's the scouting report on Jayson Tatum as opposed to Jaylen Brown? Coming into this game.
Coming into
any game. What's the scouting report on Jayson Tatum as opposed to Jaylen Brown?
I think you can definitely live with Jaylen Brown going off, but you can't live with Jayson Tatum going off. When the jumper's falling, when he's versatile on defense, he's 6'10", he can rebound, he can play defense, and he's a guy that can dump the ball off to his bigs and create space for other players. I don't think Jaylen Brown has that ability. I don't think Jaylen Brown has the ability as Jayson Tatum to play make as much as Jayson Tatum. I don't think Jaylen Brown, when both of their shots are falling, I don't think Jaylen Brown can hit the outside shot as much as Jayson Tatum. So I would definitely live with Jaylen Brown getting maybe a one-on-one defense, or maybe somebody giving a little bit of attention to Jaylen Brown. But when it's Jayson Tatum that has the ball where he can create for other guys, I think the defense needs to lock in on him a little bit more than Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. That's all. I was just wondering what it was.
Emto, what's your thoughts on what Tim McMahon said? And do you agree?
I feel like the problem that people are really putting into the mix is we got to stop equating Olympic play to the actual NBA. There's 2 different styles of basketball. It's really not the same. So like when people see LeBron cooking in the Olympics, you see KD and Steph, you see all of them doing this, and really, like we said, it's a small sample size. And you see Tatum not play over there. You're like, all right, so that means Tatum not be trash. That doesn't mean Tatum's trash. He's not trash. He's actually, I agree with you. He's actually one of the top players in the NBA. It's just hard for people to see it at times when they see little things like that. They take the small things. They kind of like how Rudy Gobert is. They take small things and they run with it, and they just like, he got to be bad because X, Y, and Z. They take small stuff. So really, I don't really think he's necessarily cooking with that take. Tatum is one of the better players in the league. We just got to stop doing that.
John, what I don't want to do is I don't want to diminish Jaylen Brown, okay? Because I think Jaylen Brown is fantastic.
100%.
But when I think about what's the scouting report on Jordan as opposed to Scottie Pippen, those 2 things are not the same. They're going to defend Jordan different than they defend Scottie Pippen. They're going to defend Shaq differently than they defend Bryant. They're going to when you have two good players on it, when you have 2 awesome players on the team, you're not going to defend them the same way, especially if they're wing players. You're not going to defend them the same way. One of these guys is going to get defended differently. That doesn't mean that Jaylen Brown doesn't bring a lot to the table. He does, but Jayson Tatum, just from a talent standpoint and being able to do more, being able to knock down shots, being able to get to the rim, distribute like he does, being able to handle the ball, I think he brings a little bit more to the table. So when these teams are scouting and they're going over their scouting report, they're going to go at him way differently than they do Jaylen Brown, off the strength that Jaylen Brown doesn't offer nearly as much as Jayson Tatum does.
100%. But I think people kind of overanalyze the Olympics because Jayson Tatum's role on the Olympic team was not to be what he was in Boston. He wasn't going to be any type of lead ball handler at any time he was on the floor, in my opinion. I think what Steve Kerr wanted Jayson Tatum to do was spot up, hit threes, hit open threes, and defend. And his jump shot was not falling. Therefore, he just couldn't get the minutes. And that's not saying he's not a tier 1 player because of that. I just think he wasn't able to supply the role that they needed, and he wasn't getting the minutes because of that. So I wouldn't really say that he's not a top tier player just because he wasn't getting minutes with some of the best basketball players in the world. Like, I don't know. I just think
what I do know for a fact is I know that Steve Kerr made sure that that Drew Holiday was on the floor. He made sure that
because his role is clear. Like Drew Holiday fills his role tremendously.
Yes. He made sure that was going on. Of all the games that I watched in the Olympics, Steve Kerr made sure that he found minutes. We'll figure out the rest of these guys. We'll figure out James. We'll figure out Curry. We'll figure out all the rest of these guys. Drew Holiday need to be on the floor. That's definitely evident.
It's like, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. And if we're being honest, it's Steve Kerr. If Tatum was like 3 inches shorter, he probably would have been out there. I'm not gonna lie. 3-4 inches shorter, he's definitely on the court. He probably would play power forward, 6'5".
So, shout out to Steve Kerr, the small ball merchant. But I want to clarify. John D said he thinks Tatum has an argument to be the 5th best player in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chill has made it clear he thinks Jayson Tatum is the 4th best player in the world. Emto, where does Jayson Tatum fall for you?
I think for me, he's probably like 7. He's probably like 7.
So you're the hater right now.
No, I wouldn't hate it. I think right now, behind the top 4, I think you can argue a lot of people. I think you could argue a lot of people. I think you could argue SGA. I think you could argue Tatum. I think there's players that could be. I think you could still argue LeBron, no matter how crazy that sounds. I think you can argue AD being top 10. I think you could argue KD. I think there's plenty of players you can argue being top 10 in the NBA right now. So
I think he's ahead of Joel Embiid off the postseason success, and the fact that Joel Embiid in the postseason isn't what I think he should be. And I mean, the injuries. I understand that the injuries come into play, but I've also seen him get busy in the postseason when he's hurt. But I've also seen him go to pieces in the postseason when he should have been better. A prime example would be in 23 when they played against the Celtics and they were up 3-2. That series should have been over. They had them in the chokehold in their building and they let them off the hook. Jayson Tatum actually closed out the game in that 4th quarter and ended them, came home and blitzed them and got them up out of there. I've seen Joel Embiid as a one-on-one scorer, as a mid-range shooter. He's fantastic. He could be a better rebounder in my estimation. But the postseason, for me, there have been more moments from Jayson Tatum that there haven't been from Joel Embiid that I feel like he should be better in. Because I think Joel Embiid is good. I think from a talent standpoint, I think he's good enough that he could take a team to the NBA championship and win it. But he just hasn't yet. He hasn't been able to do that. That's why I don't have him ahead of Jayson Tatum, because I haven't seen it in the postseason enough.
I can understand that.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I wanted to ask, because John Z, you said the other day on the PCL that you was planning to debate Joel Embiid above Giannis, but Gifted just kind of
we both had the same player.
Yeah. So do you believe Joel Embiid is better than Giannis, or was that just?
I think you can make the argument. I definitely think you can make the argument. So it's like, because at first I picked Giannis, and then I was told we both picked Giannis. So he was like, "I'm gonna give you Embiid," and then we both had Embiid. So I was like, I felt as though you can make the argument for both players.
So what you're saying is Ron Sabotage, dude.
I wouldn't say that. I feel like it was just a mix-up. You know,
hey, I'm the host today. You can say it. Ron Sabotage, dude.
People are humans. You know what I'm saying? We're human. You know,
you go politics.
Yeah, there you go.
You know.
Okay, so I'll say it for you. Ron Sabotage, my guy John D, man. It's crazy, but we're here for it. Before the last thing I wanted to get into today was something Stephen A. Smith did, and it was the most influential players in NBA history. Before I show you guys the list, I'm going to ask you guys who would be your top 5 most influential players in NBA history, and we're going to see how it compares. So, Chill, I'm going to start with you because you have the largest scope of life. So, who is your top 5 most influential players in NBA history?
Doc, Jordan, Curry, Shaq, James.
Okay, that's 5. So Dr. J, Jordan, Steph, Shaq, LeBron. That's your 5. Mtel, your 5.
I will say from an influential standpoint, you got to say Curry, Curry, Jordan, Shaq, LeBron, and Loki, Allen Iverson.
Curry, Jordan, Shaq, LeBron, AI.
Yeah.
Okay, that's yours, John D.
Before I even say my 5, I want to ask a quick question. Is this just for the entire landscape of NBA fans, or is this for myself?
You can do both. Do both.
Okay,
The most influential one, you, and the most influential one,
for me, it would be Curry, Kobe, Bron, D Rose, AI. That would be my 5. But I can see for like across NBA media, it could be Kobe, Bron, Jordan, Curry, AI.
Kobe, Bron, Jordan, Curry, AI. Okay, so I've got all of you guys' lists, and I'm gonna ask you to compare it to what Stephen A came up with and see if you agree or disagree. This was Stephen A's list. He numbered them. So number 1, Michael Jordan. Number 2, Magic Johnson. Number 3, LeBron James. Number 4, Stephen Curry. And number 5, Bill Russell. Are there any names that you're surprised to see or that you disagree with of these 5?
I'm not gonna speak on Bill Russell and Magic because it's like they weren't able to influence me in any way. I wasn't around at the time, but LeBron, Jordan, and Curry.
Definitely Jordan, definitely Magic, definitely James, Curry. I mean, if I was playing basketball today, I would probably be at the long ball line. I probably would be.
You at the 3-point line?
I would probably be at the long. I would have to put that in my game. I would have to, because that's the game today, right? And that's largely due to guys like Steve Nash and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I would have to do that. So, I mean, Bill Russell, he influenced my uncle. So my uncle is the guy who put the ball in my hands. So I would like to say that from, maybe secondhand information that I got influenced by Bill Russell. Sure. But I don't hate this list. No, I don't hate this list at all. I think Shaq was more influential. I think Shaq would be a little bit more influential than Bill Russell. And I think that, who else did I say?
Dr. J.
I think Doc was more influential than Magic, but I don't hate this list. No, I don't.
Ox, I never got to ask you who your top 5 most influential players are because you wasn't here. But if you would like to say who your top 5 would be, I'd appreciate it.
Can't hear you, Ox.
Yeah, you're muted right now.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna do kind of like what John D did. Like for me personally, I would say for me personally, it would have to be Jordan, KG, Iverson, Kobe, and probably Bron. Probably Bron.
People in the chats, I think I'm crazy for saying Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose fed families.
I mean, yeah, you from Chicago.
About that.
Like, yeah, you
Let's
from
be clear
Chicago.
about
So it is different. Like John D. saying it was influential towards him. I mean, if you in Chicago, I could understand it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
I mean overall, big deal. The fact that he was from Chicago and he was doing what he was doing, that was a pretty big deal. Because most of the time, dudes most of the time, guys that are from where they're playing, they don't get busy. Most of the time, a lot of guys. I mean, don't forget, Chauncey Billups played for the Denver Nuggets. He was there. He came back to Denver, right? So he wasn't there in the beginning. He came back to Denver, and then guys like James. I think those guys, James, Derrick Rose, those guys are anomalies. Like a lot of guys who play for their hometown, a lot of them dudes don't get busy like that because it's a lot of other pressures going on in addition to them being, good basketball players. The fact that they live with, the fact that they grew up there, so they got people on the outside that they got to look after. People got to take care of people that are looking for them to take care of them more. The pressure of them being good basketball players more than it would be if I was playing somewhere else. It's way different.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, and I wanted to get you guys' perspective on this before we have to wrap things up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dave with the member chat, he's going to say the same thing I was going to say. So thank you, Dave. I'm going to use you as the reference. Shout out to you for being a member for 5 months. He said KD is slept on in the influencing topic. And I wanted to ask, how do you guys feel about guys like KD and Dirk Nowitzki as like the 7-footers who made it okay to play on the perimeter? And you hear all the young players, Anthony Edwards, Wemby spoke about it, how KD is like their guy and that's who influenced them, or that's their favorite. Is KD slept on when it comes to being an influential basketball player historically?
I don't think so. I mean, if you don't hold KD in a higher regard, I think people hold KD in a lot higher regard than we talk about. Like you just said, how Wemby talks about him, how Paul George talks about him. I like how a lot of guys talk about KD just as a basketball player. There's plenty of people just in the basketball community that love KD, and he's influenced a lot of guys. The problem is, it ain't many guys that's 6'10" that do what KD does. So the guys that influenced him, like Wemby, they're his size. So they don't really have that kind of skill set that he got.
Yeah, I don't think KD's in this conversation. I think KD is his love for basketball is why I like KD.
Yeah.
That's what I love about KD. Yep. I love that KD is just a cold hooper. He just wants to play ball, and I can respect that. Like I can respect that, and I can I can relate to that. Where it's like I just want a ball, like regardless of anything, he just wants to play basketball wherever, whenever, any chance he can get to play basketball. That's why I can guarantee KD if he can be on the court, he's going to be on the court. I don't think we ever have to question if KD is going hard. I don't think we ever have to question is he load managing. We don't never have to question, any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I love about KD.
Well, Ox, think about the guys in your estimation, because you're that. Think about the guys who actually love KD, Ox. Like who are the guys who love him? Ballers.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the dudes who love KD, pure ballers, because I think that's just in his blood. Like a baller when you see one. You know a dude that if KD wasn't in the NBA, let's say KD was working at the post office, he probably would be in a men's league some damn where, right?
Yeah.
And you could catch KD on a Tuesday night, even after he stopped playing. I wouldn't be surprised to see KD playing in the men's league somewhere when he stopped playing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That would not surprise me when KD's 44, 45 years old and he just want to get a run. That would not surprise me that he is playing somewhere in the men's league. But the majority of the people who love KD, they ballers. And I definitely respect that 100%.
It's funny that they call me a KD hater.
You absolutely are, but
I think that's hilarious that they call me a KD hater.
because you absolutely are. But on the topic of influence, hopefully JD can influence you to get this healthy nutrition.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code playerschoice50 at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
There we go. Shout out to JD. Shout out to Factor. We have about 5 minutes left. I got a couple super chats. Mo said no Harden is crazy. L list, of course. W host Mars. I'm gonna entertain it.
Mars, that James Harden thing. I don't know how ridiculous. I don't know if that's ridiculous.
He's
James
not
Harden
top 5, but he is.
Yes. Yes,
He's on the list.
They had me.
James Harden had a lot of influence on the game. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
I read too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even if like the game, even if you think James Harden made the game worse, there's still influence. Like it might be negative influence, but
it's terrible.
Influence
it's terrible. Now every time we got dudes just dribbling around the court doing every time.
Yeah,
every
but
time
like Mike D'Antoni influenced the game, no? Even if you don't
that
like the
video
way the
of
game
it
went.
was like a third grade little league team, and he just flopped. Like he hit his.
Oh yeah.
Throwing that head back every time.
Sell the cool.
A minimal amount of contact. Mars, I'm talking about a minimal amount of contact. This is
You gotta get yourself to the line. But
it sounds like you're watching a women's tennis match.
I mean, some people like women's tennis matches, so
no, it's great. No, I'm not disrespecting.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm talking about
why not bring it to the NBA? Why not bring it to the NBA? But the Trib one said KD didn't influence anything. Is there a least influential but most impactful top 5? My list: Shaq, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili. And then clarified by saying not zero influence, but just a lot less.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Who did CP3 influence like that?
Yeah,
of the guys that you guys, because I was around when you guys were around. So, like, how much of an influence did CP3 have on basketball?
Not much.
I don't think the influence was much, but that's why he said most impactful. I think he's just talking about the impact they would have on games. Like, are these the most impactful, but their influence is less than their overall impact on the court. Like Tim Duncan is more impactful than he was influential because no one wanted to bank shots for the most part. Like, and I guess I don't agree with Kevin Durant being there, but I think Tim Duncan is like the poster child of impact up here, influence down here. I think he's like the biggest separator between skill and influence. Personally, I don't know if you guys can think of any other ones that like sleeper picks, but Tim Duncan is like the poster child for me.
Maybe Dirk.
I was gonna say Ginobili.
I'd argue is Dirk's influence higher than his impact, or the other way around, in your opinion?
I think they were very influential.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. Manu's a solid one. I don't agree with KD because I think KD is very influential. Same thing with Shaq. Shaq's influential in terms of like no one's replicating it, but like the game just changed because of Shaq. So like that's what I mean by influence. Kareem, I wouldn't consider pretty influential. So Kareem's probably another one I'd say is very impactful, but not very influential. But those are like the main ones I can come up with the top of my head. And I did save this for last. Shout out to Donovan Samuels. He said, "W host Mars. I liked how you added the videos. I mean, I'm a great host. What can I say? Got through all of the super chats with time to spare. Open Gym is next. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back tomorrow for the panel. PCL on Sunday. Leave comments just saying W host everything. Like that's what you got to do. But see you guys tomorrow, man.